Hello, everyone, and welcome to Spelunkers, a game exploration podcast where we break games down into bite-sized chunks and talk about them in exhaustive detail. I am your host, Tyler, but I am not alone. I am joined by three trusty compatriots. Chris.
Me, I assume you're talking about Ty.
Yes, you, Chris, and Ryan.
Hello, everybody.
And Tom.
Hello, hello.
And we have a new guest this week, a fresh-faced guest that was not on the last episode to talk about Okami, Chris B from the Hello Hyrule podcast.
Hello. Hey, new goal. I'm going to earn your trust by the end of this episode. I totally was here last episode.
Yeah, Tyler, did you forget that Chris was here?
No, I did, but I was making...
That's comedy, guys.
It was
comedy.
Very good.
Yes, he shaved his face and...
Wow.
Come on.
Yeah, okay. Video version only joke.
God.
Should have seen that with the fresh-faced part.
Okay.
Do you want me to restart? Since
No, don't. Just keep going.
No.
This is all
not.
great.
Even if you did, it would not matter.
Okay, well, we're back to talk about Okami again, Capcom's beloved gem of a game. We are in part 2. We are starting directly with the beginning of the Gale Shrine. That's where we left off. Just for the initial thoughts on this section, Gale Shrine up through the start of the Dragon Palace. Chris, what do you got?
I like it a lot. There's a lot of cool sections in this part. I think it's got plenty of variety and definitely a lot more dungeons than obviously the first section, which was just one kind of Zelda dungeon. There's several here. We're getting a lot more abilities and stuff that make traversing the world a little easier. I don't know. I'm pretty into this game now, I would say.
Ryan, what are you thinking so far?
Yeah, I'm also pretty hot on this spot. I like the extra dungeons we've gotten. I think the puzzles have been fun. There's only... I have one thing I could nitpick about in this chunk, but overall, I have been enjoying my time quite a lot.
Tom?
It's definitely a game that I did play for 2 days.
Okay, a little bummer over there. All right, Fresh Chris, we're going to call you the rest of the day.
Hey, yeah, I like it. The game opened up a lot. I feel like this is finally past the tutorial stuff and the linear introduction of it, a ton of side content. I wish that we would stop hearing Isun say, "Did you hear that furball?" Because it feels like that's the start of every conversation with Isun. But yeah, the game gets weird a few times in this section, and I enjoyed it a bit.
I do not like this game so far. I will just actively say that out loud. I don't enjoy this game. I'm not having a fun time. So this is going to be a very fun hosting opportunity for me to just host a game that I am not enjoying whatsoever.
Oh boy. Is there anything in particular, or
I just don't like the flow of the game. I just feel like it is stilted so often, and just having to stop all the time to do paintbrush strokes as I'm doing anything. It just feels like it messes with the pacing of the game, and I find myself enjoying certain sections and like, the way that the overall gameplay works with the story and narrative, it just doesn't work for me. So I don't think I'm going to come around on it by the end, but that's fine. It's just not a game for me. There are parts that I do like, and we'll get to those parts as we get to them, but just overall, I do not like the game.
Just a refresher, what were you playing it on?
I'm playing on Switch.
Oh, okay. Did you, by any chance...
Yes, I have been doing... You can do the touch screen for the paintbrush, and I've been doing a little bit of both. I've been doing that and holding R to paint as well.
Does that feel any better, or is it just...
It's still just the whole process of having to... It feels like I'm just pausing the game, to do something, and I don't like that. It's just constantly pausing over and over and over and over and over and over, and it's just not how I want to play my game.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm curious, did you play Final Fantasy VII Remake? Because that is like very active until it's not, and then you pause it to use an action. It doesn't feel quite the same here, but it's kind of a similar thing.
I did play Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I don't see the similarities just because I didn't really do so much of the pause, choose my action type of thing. It was I played it more of like a hack and slash, kind of an auto battler with the NPCs or your companions kind of auto battling in the back and switching back and forth and stuff. I never really felt like I was pausing to choose my abilities. Because I think you can have it set to where it's active when you're choosing abilities and it doesn't slow down.
No, maybe, I don't know.
Unless I'm misremembering.
It always slowed down for me. I don't think I ever looked in the options to see if there's anything else.
Oh, I'm always in those options. Deep in those options.
Yeah, that's a good point though, Chris. It does kind of have a similar flow to when you're using the menus in the action combat and or the action RPG combat in FF7R.
Yeah, but even with that, you can learn pretty much the motion of where it is, and it's just quick.
Mm-hmm.
If you are doing that, it's not stop and try and make a circle. Oh, it didn't connect all the way.
And this isn't one of those things where it's like, oh, I'm doing a wind movement, but it's not in the right direction, or I didn't do it just enough, so I have to repaint to do it the right way.
Yeah,
not as finicky. But we're going to start off with the Gale Shrine. And right off the top, we got our power orbs from all of the lovely canine warriors, and we're going into the Gale Shrine, and we meet this lovely little ghost man named Yatsu. Anybody have any thoughts on little ghost man?
He calls Isun a little booger. He says like, "Oh, the maiden is accompanied by a little booger," which I love it when people dunk on Isun.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
I enjoyed the stuff that comes at the end with him once we get to it, as far as like coming out of the Gale Shrine. I think there's like a really cool little connection with him that I wasn't expecting. And that's the stuff in the game that I've enjoyed, is just those little connections like that.
I agree.
So we go to the Gale Shrine, and this is very straightforward, this whole kind of small dungeon section. We do fight a new enemy right at the beginning, a Chimera, which is kind of an asshole of an enemy. You have to kind of wait around and then eventually do a power slash on it to do any damage. And just kind of making our way through. It's very straightforward. Grab a key, unlock a door. And then this was the part I got stuck on for a minute. Once you unlock that first door in that dungeon, there's like an elevator, and I didn't realize that you had to draw a bomb to get the elevator to go up.
Oh yeah, the symbols. It's on the elevator.
There's
itself.
a picture of a bomb.
Yeah. After that, I realized, oh, I just need to look at the environment to figure out what the hell I'm going to do from here on out.
Yeah. No,
So
totally.
you take the elevator up, and then you fight another Chimera. Grab a key again, and then you go straight up again, and then immediately we're getting a new brush technique.
There is a cool moment. Sorry to backpedal really quick. There's a cool moment with the elevator where like my Dark Souls brain kicked in. If you put a bomb on the elevator, jump off the elevator, let the elevator go up, you can actually go underneath the elevator. And I think there's like a stray bead and like some of that paper that like does damage across an area. I forget what, execution paper or whatever.
Exorcism.
Yeah, so whatever.
You know, I had a similar situation with an elevator in another area that we're getting into, and there was nothing underneath it.
Oh, that's frustrating.
It was, because you also couldn't call it back down. So I had to restart my game. Anyway, so this, we go up basically 3 flights immediately to the top of this area, the top of the Gale Shrine. And I do like this section. We make our way up to a little platform, and Isun starts to tell you to make wind formations with your paintbrush to kind of go against the evil winds that are blowing. And this part's kind of cool, because you're just making different, stroke techniques throughout each direction to follow the wind to kind of blow the evil wind out and get the divine winds to come back.
So that's the only time we actually have to draw wind in a spiral, right? Like in a true circling spiral. I've never had to do it again.
I don't think you have to do it there, because I didn't know
like
you
this,
could
right?
do that. You could just do the swirl. And
You just have to go in the right direction. You know,
I
make
literally
sure it's
just
going
followed
this way instead of
exactly
this
the
way.
lines they had, and it worked perfectly.
I also did that, right?
Okay. Thank you, Chris.
What do you mean by that?
So there's 2 designs for the Gale Storm. There's a circular one that goes in a spiral, and then there's the sort of like loop one that I think
That's what I do. I just do a line and a loop.
I've only ever done the loop one.
Yeah, I don't remember them ever showing the circular one. I watched footage to refresh my memory earlier today, and I saw that circle one, and I was like, "What?"
You'll see it on my footage.
Oh,
Oh, weird.
But just that one time, I never used it again.
Yeah, I always did the like loop after that.
So I guess where did they show that at? Was that their design then?
Yeah, as they like put the winds on the screen to be like, cancel these winds out. One of
okay.
them was a spiraling wind.
Weird.
There's another thing about the Gale Storm that I don't know if this applies to all of them, but apparently, and you see this in the tips, the larger you draw it, the more of an effect it has, like the longer the effect lasts.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I learned that here with this, like when you get the tips, it tells you that.
Yeah, one of the scrolls tell you like just generally drawing things bigger or smaller have different effects. I think the bombs, like if you draw it bigger, it's just closer to where you are, and if you draw it smaller, it'll spawn further away from where you are.
Oh, okay. Huh.
God, thinking about it, I feel like I've drawn everything about the same size. I don't really think I've drawn a much bigger or smaller bomb.
But how thick is that line?
Very thick.
So we get the Gale Storm brush technique. I don't remember what the constellation was for this one. It wasn't very memorable.
Kazagami, the
yeah.
god of wind.
And it's a horse, and it like comes down and starts running, and then Amaterasu just cuts it off immediately. It's very funny.
So one of the things I do like, as you get the Gale Storm, you're kind of making your way back down to where you came. There's a pile of leaves, and if you use the wind to blow the leaves, you get the Gale Shrine map. That's a fun little thing. I like being able to use the wind in the environment.
Yep. And I immediately thought of like 4 other places where I'd passed leaf piles. I was like, well,
exactly.
I got
Yeah, there's also
They're all over.
I don't remember exactly where it is, but you can get a chest with a sun fragment in here, which we didn't really talk about last time. It's kind of weird that they have a like traditional upgrade system with XP in terms, well, it's praise, but XP that you can spend to like upgrade your health. But then they also have the like heart pieces from Zelda that you can get as well. Kind of dual upgrades.
It almost feels like they want to have the heart pieces. Like they don't need to have both, but they just want the
They're
stand-in.
forcing it upon you almost.
Yeah.
So then we take the elevator back down to the main floor and use the winds on the windmills that are attached to the platforms that we use to get across. That'll turn the platform around. Once we do that, there's a room with a lot of chests in it, which is fun because you can use the Gale Storm to kind of get around and go across the rafters and open up all these different chests. The thing with the chests that's kind of annoying in this game is just like I feel like there's chests all over the place, and I just don't use anything inside of them ever. It's just pointless.
As a result of the combat being kind of easy, a lot of the buffs and debuffs you just kind of don't need. Yeah.
I don't
I
think
can't
I've
wait.
used a single item in my inventory yet.
I've occasionally used a healing item. I can't wait to get to the end boss and be like, I'm going to use every single one of these exorcism slips I've been saving and see how easy that fight is.
The one item I have used occasionally is the infinite ink, and that's because it's just super easy to just use infinite ink and just power slash the shit out of everything.
There's a side quest section in this portion where you need to keep using Vine to get to a place, and like it was so handy to have that infinite ink.
How much ink do you guys have?
6 or 7.
That's about where I'm at.
I don't know. I think I have more than that.
I have a bunch. I don't remember how many.
It's
I've also upgraded my wallet 3 times though, because I'm a sick man.
Yeah, he loves that money.
I think I've only put stuff into ink. Yep, probably.
How many ink pots you got?
I don't fucking know.
12.
A bunch.
Oh, that explains it. Okay.
But yeah,
Chris,
I'm glad. Oh, sorry, go
I
ahead.
was going to say, Chris, I gave you a hard time about putting your money into the wallets last episode. I need to retract that and offer you an apology. There's a weapon in one of the upcoming cities that is literally $1 more than the minimum max wallet. So you have to put in one upgrade. So I got there and I was like, well, I'm an idiot. So I ended up upgrading my wallet fully during this section too. There's only like 2 upgrades for it, I think.
Yeah, well, I've gotten either 2 or 3, and there's still 1 left. So there's at least maybe 3 for sure.
Okay, 3.
But yeah, I'm glad you brought up, Tyler, that like the stuff in the chest not being super useful, because like that's been my biggest problem with the game, and it kind of reminds me of like the only problem I really have with Breath of the Wild is like I don't feel like I'm getting cool stuff for my exploration. The exploration is supposed to be the reward in and of itself, and I think that works fine in Breath of the Wild because the exploration's so great, but the exploration here is not on Breath of the Wild's level. So it just feels like even like getting stray beads, I don't think they reward you at all for like getting part of them. Only if you get all of them there's some kind of reward at the end. So it's like unless you are shooting for all of them, getting a stray bead, you may as well have not found that chest.
Yeah. They should have definitely given rewards in levels, in layers, but I mean, there aren't enough cool things for them to have done that, really. So it's kind of a shame.
The only thing I'm excited about getting is like the new weapon.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some new weapons, the only thing that really excites me. Real quick, because it just popped into my head, I turned those mini games on in the loading screen. They only give demon fangs, not demon fangs and praise. But they like to still skip on me. I have never finished the one that's just mash the button 50 times because it just skips past the loading screen anyway.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so
the one that's like a timed thing, we have to time out the steps.
Yeah.
If not, Isun pops out on the bottom. That gives you 3 chances, and if you don't do it, like you have 3 chances to do it, and then it automatically skips the cutscene and goes out of the loading screen or whatever. So that's what I noticed. The other one I never really get. It always seems to be the one with the time thing on the bottom.
No, it's just
like stamping all over the place. I never really get that one.
When you see a blank screen, just mash the button. You got to hit the button 50 times, and you'll get a demon fang. Mash A.
Sounds like I'm glad I didn't put those on.
The timing one's all right. I can get 1 or 2 from that usually every time, but the button mash is.
And good God, the amount of demon fangs you need to get anything good. We'll get to it though.
Thank God for peeing on our enemies.
Yeah, heard that. We're gonna get to that too. There's a room with a bunch of chests. Use the Gale Storm. You guys like using the Gale Storm to get on the banners?
Yeah, I thought that was a really unique way to
No.
aid platforming.
I like the idea of the banners, but like following Ami's shadow to make sure that you get onto it properly, especially with the tiny switch screen, was a pain in the butt to me.
Yeah, the jump is real bad in this game.
Yeah,
it could be better.
It was definitely a struggle, but eventually I found out that you can walk to the edge of each banner and she will not walk off. So you just walk to the edge and then jump in. You'll always make it.
Yeah.
I also found that out after falling many times.
Yes. Same.
I have fallen so many times.
Especially like back in the village, the one with the fish that you blow up, the banners, those are really thin. And if you're not walking to the edge of them, I don't know how you would ever make those jumps. That seems terrible. This is also the part where you get another scroll with like tutorial in it, and this scroll tells you about like the brush changing color when it's over an interactive object and about the thicker strokes at this point in the game. It tells you this, which is ridiculous.
Good thing Ryan was here last week to tell us
about the IGN guide.
Right. That's what I took my notes on. So thank you, IGN, for that. So we make our way across these raptors and the banners, get all these chests, and the next room has a bunch of little fire pits in it, and you have to use the Gale Storm to kind of blow out the flames and jump over it. Again, immediately using this technique in some cool and interesting ways. I think it's fun.
I like the ways that it's used in combat later on with
yeah, there are some fun times with it. That's the thing about this game, right? I was talking like some shit at the beginning. There are so many things where it's like, man, this is so cool in concept. Like talking about it, I'm like, oh man, that's cool. That's so cool. But in practice and doing it, I was just not having fun with it. And I think that's my issue with it.
That's fair.
Yeah. I want to jump back to something cool that I love to see in game design. Like they put a little a chest that's on fire, and obviously use the wind to blow out fire. You already learned that. They put that right below those banners that you have to jump across to make sure that like you're gonna see the obvious thing and use the wind on that, and then you're gonna see the banners come up and be like, oh, that's how that works, if you didn't already see that, which is just smart game design.
Yeah, that is good stuff.
Another smart game design choice is when you see the eagles flying by when you're on the top of the tower, you can blow the eagles and they absolutely eat it. Like in the wind. Like
great.
It is very funny to watch.
That sounds awesome.
That sounds amazing.
So we make our way through these fire pits, basically jumping over them with the wind, and we get into the main boss room with Crimson Helm. Bum, bum, bum. We've heard so many bad things about this character. He's a bad dude. But his design is super rad.
Yeah.
Just the coolest looking design so far we've seen in this game. Thoughts on Crimson Helm?
All right, so this fight perplexed me for a while. Chris, you're gonna get a giggle watching the video footage. I beat it a bunch, what I felt like was a bunch, with my whip, and its armor didn't move at all, its health didn't move at all. In that process, it tackled one of the beams at the edge of the map down. Now, I'm a gamer, I've played games. And when the beams fall, that usually means all the beams have to fall. So I spent 10 minutes getting this thing to chase me around the edge of the ring, getting every beam to fall before I was like, what do I have to do in this boss fight? And I went to the guide.
You were not supposed to use the guide.
I don't care what you tell me, Tom. You're not my dad.
You agreed to it last time that you were not going to use the guide.
Our Lord and Savior IGN guide to the rescue.
Ryan, did the guy to start off that section with "This is by far the easiest boss in the game. You just have to hit it a bunch"?
Yeah.
And they give you 8 free hits.
Yeah, I wasted every single one attempting to get those the columns at the edge of the battlefield down.
Oh, what a bad time.
Yeah,
That's frustrating.
But the rest of us had a good time fighting him, probably.
yeah, he's pretty easy. You just beat the crap out of him, blow out the fire.
Yeah, I do like that you have to like knock his armor off, and then you like see the monster that's underneath, and that he's just like this giant flaming skeleton, and just like blowing out the flames, and then just beating shit out of him from there. So then Susano pops his head up for some reason, and we have to do one of those things I hate, another little interactive cutscene where we gotta give Susano all the credit, even though we did it all.
See, I like those. I like helping Susano out. I think it's fun.
I like those too.
Yeah,
I also like
is redeemed in this section here, I think.
Yeah. Susano has like a real protagonist arc in this section.
He does.
I kind of like those painting moments. It reminds me of games where you hold a bumper to pull up a weapon wheel or a skill wheel, and you have a second to survey the battle, figure out what you want to do.
I like the last one that we do, but I don't like all the others. The last one I felt was actually poignant for the story and the characters, and all the other ones were irrelevant.
Are you talking about the battle, Ryan, or are you actually talking about these like QTEs?
I'm talking about it, in battle, like in general use of the painting.
Yeah, I still don't.
Oh.
I like the quick time event ones. I'm so on the battle ones.
So we restored the Gale Shrine, you go back out, and you talk to little Ghost Man, and he tells you that he was Princess Fusei's husband. And that they were like the two who were a part of this village. I can't remember the name of it. He has a title of some kind, but he died. So sad.
Which is why he's a ghost man.
That's right.
Yep.
There's a fun little moment earlier on. I didn't catch this initially, but when you first meet her and you're with the dogs in like that shrine, there's a scroll behind her, and if you power slash the scroll, it opens up and it's his picture. And this is before you do the Gale Shrine.
Damn it! See, that's cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good little details in this game.
Real quick, I wanted to talk about that Susano, like, that whole scene again. I got him hit once by the fire because I thought I was going to use wind to, like, not the cut. I thought I was going to use wind to blow it out first and then cut. So I got him hit once, and then he was just, like, charred and beat up for the entire cutscene after that because I let him get hit once, which is amazing.
Yeah, his, like, little butt is exposed through his pants, like they burned the hole in his pants.
Yeah. And then we kind of skipped over Waka, like, coming in and taking your thing, which I hate in games when you work hard for something and then some character just comes and takes it. But it doesn't really matter much here. But I like that because he's like, I'm going to go back to the Dragon Shrine or whatever, and so you're in a hurry to get back there. Isun is basically says, like, we don't have time for your victory howl, we need to just go. So this is the boss that you don't get a victory howl for, which is very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote that croissant eating motherfucker stole the serpent crystals from us.
Fun fact about my notes, I completely forgot to write about Waka at all, so how about that? I just forgot he was
invisible.
a character until 5 seconds ago.
He takes this and he says he's going to take it to where Orochi is in
the Moon Cave.
Shrine. In the Moon Cave, yeah.
So after this, we have to go back to Kamiki Village. And once we get to Kamiki Village, there is a giant cutscene. Big old revelations and cutscenes happening here.
That was right.
Basically, Susano reveals that he's a big baby, and then he can't live up to his ancestral title and name. And while he's confessing the fact that he stole the sword from the Moon Cave, An arrow pierces Kushi's house, signifying that she has become the chosen sacrifice for Orochi. So she's trying to encourage Susanoo to go and kick Orochi's ass, and he's being too much of a little whiny crybaby about it. And so she goes ahead and just runs off to the moon cave to go fight Orochi herself, because
She brings us with the sake, right?
yeah,
Like she knows.
She takes the sake with her because she knows, based on the old legend, that he has to drink the sake to become vulnerable or whatever, and that's how they will defeat him. And she believes in Susanoo enough that he will show up, and so she runs off. And she doesn't make it very far because you run after her, and she's like, as soon as you leave Kamiki Village, she's like in the Shinsu fields, like already passed out on the ground, like unable to walk. She's like already collapsed, barely made it out of the village, and she's already collapsed.
But somehow she made it with that giant freaking pot of water.
No, I was gonna say she's just worn out from having to move that giant pot of water. She can barely walk.
She's crying because little baby Susanoo won't come.
And then we get Ryan's favorite thing of her sitting on Materasu's back and flopping around.
The ragdoll physics.
The ragdoll, yeah.
In Kamiki Village, though, Hayabusa, fulfills his role and saves the kid from the arrow that was about to hit him. And then if you go to them after that, he's just like hugging the dog and his tail's wagging so fast. It's the most adorable thing. I love that.
It's very cute. Yeah.
It's good stuff.
There's also, I mean, it's interesting, like with Susanoo at this point, it really does feel like he's going through like a whole thing of like, you were trying to help him by using the god brush strokes, and he's having like this existential crisis now because of this responsibility he never asked for, and there are clearly gods meddling in his affairs, and he just wants to be like left alone. So I don't know, it was like an interesting, it's a very interesting arc to see, and like you were saying, Tyler, Kushi like genuinely believes in him, and Ami kind of does too. Isun maybe not, but like
yeah, they're the two in the village that actually believe that he can live up to his ancestors, and he has that title for a reason, and he came from that bloodline for a reason.
I think his want to disavow aid from the gods is like him trying to prove himself.
yeah,
Because like, how many disasters did he probably have to go through in his life before this? Yeah. And like, now this is the dreaded recoming of his grandfather, his great grandfather's legendary tale. So he's just like, he feels like he has to prove himself, which is why he really just wants to have no assistance throughout this whole thing.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He also says he's going to push that giant motherfucking boulder in the past, in the beginning.
Which is like,
Yeah,
no
you
way.
do it
There's
later,
no
yeah,
way. Yeah. Also, when you get on Kushi, or when Kushi gets on you rather, and
Oh, you
starts
get on
riding you,
Kushi?
yeah, when she gets on you, the music, I don't know if you all had the music on, but like it's like that's the best music so far in this game.
Yes, I had that written down as well. I was like, was this the music that was playing in Ishin Fields? I don't think so.
No.
This is way better.
Yeah.
All right, so now that Kushi is on our backs, we are taking her to the moon cave, and we walk up to the moon cave, and who's there? Our boy Waka. And he's using that serpent stone or whatever it's called, and takes down the crazy barrier that's in front of the moon cave, and I don't really remember what happens after that because I don't have it written down.
Yeah, so it's like this weird thing. I feel like you're supposed to be kind of questioning what side Waka's on the whole time.
Yeah,
But
I was getting that impression as well.
He says like, you've played your part, now leave the rest to me, and then he summons Orochi, who comes out and grabs Kushi and like pulls Kushi and
See, that's what I
Ami.
couldn't remember, is if he summoned Orochi to pull Kushi in, or if he pushed Kushi through the barrier. That was one of the things I couldn't remember.
No, Orochi did it.
Okay.
So I think Waka was, like, I mean, the way that it seemed to tell it is that he was supposed to go in with her, where Ami is end up being the one, because he's just like, well, I guess only one was going in with her.
Right.
Now he's like, I always play my fucking flute and twirl my lightsaber out here for a while.
Yeah, and then what's really cute is like, as Waka keeps talking to you while he's on the outside of the barrier, you just see Ami like a dog trying to get outside of a door, pawing at the door. Yeah. Whoever like designed these characters definitely had dogs growing up like their whole lives, because the animations are just
Top notch.
Yeah.
All right, so we keep walking into the moon cave, but wait, we don't go into the moon cave. Instead, we drop down into the calcified cavern.
Mm-hmm.
So in the calcified cavern, there is a giant door with 2 imps guarding it. You go and talk to the imps, and they won't let you through because you're not one of them. And so then you turn around and immediately go the only other direction you can go until you fight a new enemy, the Black Imp. How do we feel about the Black Imp?
I don't know. He's pretty.
I didn't write anything down about him, so
Okay.
I think in
got help.
the worst case scenario is like the enemy will have you guessing at what power you need to use as its weakness. And like the Black Imp, it has the skulls floating around, and I feel like it was kind of a dead giveaway, like attack the skulls.
Yeah.
So I think it's good in that regard. Like you kind of know exactly what you're supposed to do. Like the most frustrating fights in this game to me are me trying to remember which final attack I need to use to get the divine thing at the end of a fight. Like that's the stuff I don't like. When it's easy to remember and it's just natural, I think it's a little bit better.
Yeah. Are you guys still using beads, all of you? For
Yeah,
combat?
because I upgraded them by this point, I believe. And when you upgrade them, it is stupid. You can do like 80 attack and then you just keep a combo going. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. I think all the weapons are broken as long as you're buying the upgrades in the dojo. I've been using the... Yeah, but like before you leave that village, the village that we were in earlier with the Gale Shrine, you can buy Infinity Judgment, a new disc that goes on your back, which is a really cool design. It looks very Twilight Princess, and it like continuously breaks apart and rebuilds itself on your back. Looks
Yes,
very
I
cool.
have that one, I think.
Yeah.
I didn't buy it.
Yeah,
And,
that's what got me to upgrade my wallet.
Yeah, it does a lot of damage, and I have it with the beads as my secondary, the second set of beads, because it's like a shotgun blast. So you can do like a 4-hit combo with the shotgun blast, and it kills almost everything in one combo.
Damn, nice.
Since we're talking about that kind of stuff, did we all buy the PP attack?
Yes.
Yes, I haven't barely used it because I always forget I have it, but I love it. It's so stupid. And there's another one below that that I'm sure none of us have been able to afford called
I
Brown
have not
Fury.
bought it yet, but I am
Brown
going to
Rage.
buy it.
Oh, I didn't see that. I can't wait.
Once you get to the second dojo, spoilers, that there's a second dojo, it unlocks a new technique.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just enter battles now, making sure I pee on every enemy before I even attack them.
Yeah, you
I
get
want
like
those demon things.
exactly. You get the best reward you can get in this game for pressing A and peeing on an enemy.
What's weird though is like the
peak
way
video
that
games.
Amaterasu pees, it's kind of like a cat, like spraying, and it's not so much as like a dog. It's like there's way too much of like a geyser effect going on here. Nothing pees
Yeah.
like that.
It's a little AoE.
Yeah, too much.
Have you ever seen a god pee? You don't know.
Yes, every time I go to the bathroom.
Oh,
Okay, you were ready for that.
I don't feel like I'm missing anything by not buying that move.
Oh, you are.
You are. Yeah, because I think it also stuns the enemy, so you can like get a free hit in as well.
I did like. Still, there hasn't been a part of any of this combat so far that's been like, oh shit, I need help.
It doesn't make any of the combat easier. It's just if you want to get the Divine Fang rewards, which if you're not interested in, yeah, you don't need to buy it.
I don't give a shit.
So we defeat the Black Imp, and a chest pops up, and we get an imp mask.
This is
We all
my
get to
favorite part.
design it. How did we design our masks?
Tom, did
Chris.
you draw a penis? Be honest.
No.
Damn it.
Tom,
Does
what did
anybody
you
draw a
draw?
penis? Like somebody else.
I drew a skull, and it probably took me like 3 times to get the markings right, so it actually looked legit on its face.
What did everybody else draw?
I just had like a weird googly eye face.
Yeah, just a smiley face.
Yeah.
I drew some like weird square shaped thing.
I wrote the word farts,
That's close. That's good.
and my mask just said farts.
That's good stuff.
great.
See, that's comedy.
Yeah, that's comedy. It's great because it also comes up as like graffiti and say on.
It did.
later.
It totally did. It just said
Yeah.
farts all over the wall. It was very funny. I was very shocked by that. I was like, "Oh, hey, I know where that came from."
I'd say write it down, but you already did, so.
Yeah. So we return back to the demons, and they'll give you entrance to the actual moon cave. And thus begins another ridiculous freaking fetch quest. You think they put these fetch quests in just because you're playing as a dog?
No, this was just the design at the time, I think, to some extent.
Yeah, I guess I didn't really feel like this was a fetch quest. Usually when I hear fetch quest, it's like, go back to that city you already explored and grab something and then bring it back here, and then I'll give you something and you take it back to somebody else. This is just like, the design of the dungeon is you need to get these 4 items and you get abilities and unlock doors and stuff along the way. That kind of, it just felt like a Zelda dungeon to me.
And you get to
Yeah.
fight wheels with gross body parts on them, like a dick nose and a mouth. And
You don't fight the dick nose until way later. You're getting too far ahead of yourself.
I don't care. Same design, different piece.
All right, buddy. All right.
Okay.
All right, so there's not a lot of places we can go here, so I make our way into the kitchen, and we talk to the imps, and you find out that the head chef is missing, but oh wait, there's a giant pot in there. So we lift up that pot, and who is inside? The head chef. How to get in that pot? Who knows?
He's spaced out, he says.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no OSHA violations in Moon Cave. That's why he fell in that pot.
I guess so.
That's why I'm laser focused when I'm cooking, man. Otherwise, I'll just shut my face.
Yeah, you
right
have
in
to
that
be
stew.
laser focused when cooking
Otherwise-
your giant pots.
Exactly. Otherwise, your whole body will fall into a cauldron.
So you free the chef, and he sends you on a quest. Some might call it a fetch quest. I would to get a bunch of different ingredients for Orochi's dinner. Ogre liver, lips of ice, eyeball of fire, and black demon horn is what he requests. So then he gives you a key, and you take that key and you unlock the only door that is on your map that is locked currently, the only path that you really have. And it takes you into this giant cavern where you have to do a bunch of vine brush techniques to platform your way across. And this part was one of those parts where the game, I felt like, was just saying, like, fuck you, because just you're using the vine brush technique and you don't run into the upside down ones yet until this point. And then I did one of the upside down ones.
I just
and
drop
fell
into the garbage.
Yeah, because I wasn't expecting that.
How far does
look?
it set you back?
Huh?
How far does it set you back?
Just the beginning of the section.
Yeah.
Just so you're right there. But still, it's like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
That sounds like
You
a
know,
funny
get me,
fuck
Tyler.
you.
Yeah. There's a lot of parts in this area where stupid stuff happened to me.
I do like that they are using different techniques for each dungeon.
I agree.
now.
I do like that. And like after that, I was like, oh, okay, I gotta be quicker about this. I can't just take my time and go all willy nilly. I gotta come quick with it, as they say. So you make your way to the end of this area, and there's this new little thing that we run across, which is basically just a giant pole with an eyeball on it, and you power slash that, and that'll open up doors apparently.
Yep.
For no reason, no
it's a Zelda.
context for that, just a pole with an eye.
It's a Zelda thing. There are
guess.
eye switches in a ton of Zelda games that you hit
Yeah.
with an arrow
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Well,
just
even
figured they
the
were-
like the doors you open with the keys are eyeballs with a tongue. So like
Yeah.
eyes are clearly locks in this world.
I guess so.
I just figured they were trying to rip off the Neversoft symbol.
Windows to the soul. they
That's
say.
probably what it is.
So then you go inside and you fight a bunch of enemies, like a bunch of imps, and I think like a ogre bud or whatever, bud ogre, whatever those things are called. And you
ogre.
beat it up, and you get an ogre liver. Shocker. So then you go back the way you came, and you make your way across, but the door is shut. You can't actually go that way, so you have to like look around and be vigilant in your surroundings. And there is a spring right there that you can use the water spout on, and you make your way up to reach new heights and keep going. So you keep going through, and there's the one thing is like everything is so straightforward in these dungeons. Like there's only really one path that you can go. It's not like branching off and like doing different little explorations to figure out where you have to go. It's very linear. I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just Zelda dungeon design is very linear. It's very like, here's the puzzle, figure out the puzzle, do the puzzle.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there's maybe some side areas that like you can get an item from, like a heart piece or whatever, but very little of that.
Yeah,
At
I
a
feel like
certain. Oh, go on.
I was going to say that I feel like the complexity comes from the puzzles, not the level design. So
Yeah, agreed.
So you keep going and you kind of go up and you make your way to this area with like a bridge, and you have to walk back and forth across this bridge until it collapses, and then you fall back down into the caverns.
And Isun fat shames you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we should mention he's a huge dick.
He
This entire
he
section.
stinks in this section
Yeah.
a little
He's
bit.
the worst.
He was already the worst, but no,
he
he's
gets
worse
way
than the
worse.
worst.
So you're in the cavern and you fight some enemies, and it kind of makes this pool of water appear, and you use the pool of water next to this bamboo fountain. And doing this, opens up this giant valve that drains all this water from this other area that we kind of went past earlier. So then you connect the fountain, it'll drain the area, jump through to the open drain, and in the next room there is another enemy, and you fight that, and then you power slash another couple of eyeballs to open up a big ass hole in the ground full of poisonous water. And then this is where some really stupid stuff happened to me. So when you open up like the big cavern with all the poisonous water at the bottom, you got to go to like the main little hub of this dungeon, and you take the elevator down, and you have to power slash the imp on the elevator over and over and over to get him to go down. Once you get down to the bottom, because the jump in this game sucks so hard, I missed the jump from the elevator over to the platform, and I had to immediately go back up to the top and power slash this stupid ass imp over and over and over again, and then I missed the jump again. Twice I missed the jump. Twice.
Can you blame the game?
Yeah,
I do.
That
I'm good at
sounds like a
platformers.
you thing. That's fine. I didn't miss.
I have hours of myself streaming It Takes Two on the internet, and I can tell you I am good at platformers. This is just a bad jump. It's not a good jump in this game.
Yeah, it's a high jump and not a long jump for sure.
Yeah, it's just too floaty.
There is one puzzle I like. I think there's really one puzzle I remember in this section that's like the eye switches. You've got to hit 4 at a time, but you've got to. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No, talk about now.
So yeah, there's like this one part where there's 2 eye statues in the distance and 2 eye statues kind of closer up and elevated where Ami is, and you have to the idea is you want to slash all 4 at once, so you have to line the camera up so that the eyes in different areas are kind of aligned from the camera perspective, and do a power slash straight across. And like that's actually a creative use of their mechanics within the game that's kind of unique.
Yeah, I agree. I have that written down here as well.
I remember that.
Go ahead.
And I remember the sand path with the
the
heavy
worst.
rock.
Good
That is
God.
also
Like, are you supposed? You're supposed to just headbutt that rock? Because I felt like I was doing it wrong because it was so bad.
Yep.
Nope, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, that part
really
was not fun.
I don't even remember that. I blocked it out.
Yeah, that's the smart move. I wish I did that.
Yeah, we skipped over to, we got the firepower. I like that they make you fight one of these ice enemies before you get the firepower, and then they make you fight another one like immediately after to be like, oh yeah, you can just murder the hell out of these now. It's super
Yeah,
easy.
it's the pot smoking chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the god that comes out. It's a chicken that's smoking fucking opium.
Oh, Moltres.
Yes, Moltres.
So as Chris said, you slash the 4 eyes, you make it into the room with a giant icicle mouth, and it's got a cool design. I like the design of these enemies, even though eventually we're going to see 1,800 of the same enemy type, just with different faces or body parts or something on them. So that's kind of annoying. But after we fight it, we get the Inferno brush technique, which we can now trail fire, kind of like a water spout, onto enemies. And then, as our Chris alluded to, you get to use that immediately and burn one of the icicle mouth things to get the ice lip ingredients. So now we have 2 ingredients.
Yeah, and then this opens back up into like the kitchen, right? Which is cool.
Yeah, so this is the part that I was talking about earlier with the elevator. It goes up and it brings you into the back end of the kitchen. But this elevator, I was like, oh, maybe I can have this guy take it up and I'll jump down and see if there's anything underneath it. No, he just goes up. He just goes up. He doesn't come back down. There's nothing underneath. It's just a giant pit of dirt. And I had to restart the game and kill myself, basically. And
There's no way to get him back down?
No, he won't come back down. And if you go to the other end, the other guy has already gone back up to the top as well. So you're just kind of fucked and just sitting there. And I was just looking around like John Travolta. I was like...
Of course he's not going to come back down for you. You spend the whole time whipping him. Like, I don't blame him.
Oh, well, this is the other guy. He should have came back down.
Okay.
He had no reason. He wasn't... Everybody was nice to him.
They told stories of you.
No,
Yeah,
that's
that
true.
power slashes.
Just
in
blame the little
elevators.
green booger on my shoulder.
It's not hard to miss. He's got farts written on his face.
That's right. So then we continue on. Eventually we'll go back to the area with the bridge that we broke earlier, and we will rejuvenate it and make it whole and brand new again. Look at us creating. Now we have to go through this area and we fight a fire eyeball and an ice mouth at the same time. Kind of a cool way to fight because like you can stream the fire off of the fire wheel onto the ice mouth and melt it and power slash that, and then use your own wind technique to blow out the flames and then power slash the wheel. It's very fun.
I didn't know you could take the element from one enemy to the other. I had the one enemy attack the other enemy, but I didn't. That's cool. That's very cool. This is my Ryan moment from last episode.
That was this section. I was like into the combat because I was like, oh, okay, I can use these people against each other. This is fun. This is making this interesting.
Yeah, that's where the combat feels most creative.
So after we get the fire eyeball, we have to melt the ice that's in front of us. You pick up another exercising key and we take it to the only locked door that's around us near the main hub. It's like a little bit higher up, so you just kind of go around in a circle. No big deal. This is the area that Ryan was alluding to earlier with the really shitty ball that you have to move. This area super sucks. This is a terrible puzzle.
Yeah.
It's all bad. All of it's bad.
It's not even a puzzle.
Yeah.
Shit is what it is.
It's not good.
It's a patience tester.
Yeah. How many times did you drop the rock off the edge?
Probably about a dozen.
Yeah.
I think I did it once, but I didn't like the area anyway.
Yeah, I did a few. I don't know how many.
I like genuinely don't remember this puzzle at all.
Locked it out.
I'm
So
like
there is-
scrolling
there's a
through.
bunch
It didn't happen.
There's a bunch of sand all over the place, and you have to move this rock across an
holes.
invisible path.
And you have to use Gale Storm to make a sand bridge.
I did.
for
I
a
hated
little
that.
while.
Yes,
Yeah.
I hate it.
You only have to do
hit
it
the
once
eyeball.
because it's like Indiana Jones when he throws the sand out in Last Crusade. You only have to do it once so you know where the hole is, then you're fine. You don't have to
Right.
keep doing it unless
I do
you don't
remember.
remember the path because it's only like 20 feet. You just kept doing it, didn't you, Ryan?
Yeah. That's exactly what I did.
I can't move unless the sand's there. It's fine.
It's not a good puzzle design. It's really bad. And the way that you move the rock is bad. It's all not good.
And even if you hit it on right, it doesn't go like
No,
it'll
it doesn't.
sometimes just go. Meh.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It sucked.
But eventually you push this rock onto a button, and it will light all of the torches within the moon cave. Did anybody go back to get the chests that were hidden by these torches earlier on?
Yes, I believe so.
I did.
I thought I did it while I was
Not a lot of
hitting
good
the
stuff.
rock.
Just some treasures and stuff that you can pass up. It's not necessary.
Yeah,
I haven't felt the need to go super treasure hunting because, like we pointed out, the items don't necessarily feel game changing.
Yeah, treasures are like the closest thing to something feeling rewarding to me because I do want some moves from the dojo and stuff.
Yeah, agreed. That's why I go for the treasures. I mean, I go for the chest just so I can hopefully get treasures to sell. So because of this, we can make our way up some stairs, and there's some banners that we have to blow and jump across. And then we're kind of back in the main hub area up at the top, and there's this giant rotating cannon. This thing is super annoying as well. It's constantly rotating, and you have to perfectly align the shot to get the cannon to fire across the main hub area and blow up a wall. The indicator that the cannon was firing anything.
No, nothing comes out. It
Nothing
literally
comes
just,
out.
but nothing shoots out of the cannon. I was
Yeah.
like,
It doesn't make sense.
It is weird.
I had to look up at this part. Like, it kind of shows you where it wants you to go, but like if you don't line it up perfectly, nothing will happen.
yeah, because
You
I
have
swear I
negative
hit it
feedback.
where it was supposed to go several times, and then I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, that must not be it. It must be the wall directly behind it. And I'm sitting there and like, what the fuck is going on? I hate this part.
Yeah, trying to get that.
I got
line
that
up
first
is
try.
ridiculous. No,
Oh,
what?
listen to this.
Look at this
guy.
guy.
Check the recording. Check the recording.
We can't. OBS isn't
That's not
working.
gonna be on
Sorry.
video.
Dr.
No, no.
Damage.
You can edit that recording, like, oh, like he just failed for like a half hour, and he just stops and starts up. You know, oh, look, I got it on the first try. Look at that.
Chris will know. He'll see me run right over in the same clip.
Shaking his head vehemently. No. So
He's already watched it, so it didn't happen.
It's like the biggest deep fake is just Ryan trying to blow a hole in the wall. Anyways, so
No,
you
all
get,
my fuck ups in this were in boss fights.
okay, all right, that's fine. You get inside the hole that you just blew up, and there's another ball puzzle in here where you're kind of like taking this ball that has fire inside of it and blowing it across to where you can use your inferno technique to kind of melt the ice that's around which there is a demon gate you have to go inside of, and once you go inside the demon gate and you fight the enemies, you'll get the demon horn, and then that's the last item that we needed. Do we like these ball puzzles, by the way? We don't like them, right? They're bad.
No.
The physics aren't great. This one's the worst one because it's heavy. I can live with the lighter ones, but they're the weaker puzzles for sure.
Yeah. So we take everything back to the kitchen, and then a small cutscene I think happens with the chef, and then he tells you to go ring the bell, and we have to go headbutt this big ass bell that we haven't mentioned. What?
Like, doesn't the chef say that he's putting all this disgusting shit in so that kushi tastes better? Like he was making
an appetizer.
Yeah, but he was making the soup so it tasted like crap, so that kushi tasted better.
Oh,
I barely remember this dialogue comes across, and he's like, "I'm putting all this gross stuff in there." That's probably why he was in there. He's probably pissing in it or whatever.
Yeah. Did anybody write down the name of the the name of the appetizer? I remember it being good, but I didn't write it down.
No,
I didn't write it.
Right.
but I remember him saying that he was
Googling.
making it taste gross, I believe, just so that.
While Ryan Googles, I'll just keep going on. There's this big ass bell that we've walked past probably a dozen times at this point.
I've rang it several times. I think.
Yeah,
I tried. Nothing happened.
But this is good gaming right here. We have to ring the bell as many times as Orochi has heads. 8 times. We have to.
So
ring the
actually,
bell.
I think I did it 5 prior to that, so I actually had to do it 3 this time because it kept count from the times that I rung the bell
interesting.
prior.
Hey,
So I don't know if you surpass that 8, if then you have to do 8 again.
That's weird.
But yeah, because I was like, wait, I didn't ring the bell 8 times.
That's
I rang it like 3. It's like, oh, whatever. Doesn't matter.
So then an elevator. It's the same elevator that we were using earlier.
Yeah,
but
you
there's
just
the guy
smack
that'll
that
take
bitch
you
around.
Ryan.
Dung heap slime bucket goulash.
Yum.
Appetizing. You know, who knows what demons eat? I mean, come on.
So we take the elevator up to Orochi. There's a giant, long, winding staircase, kind of a pathway. And then the Orochi fight starts, kind of, and it's forever. This is a forever fight.
Yeah, this is a
You better
very,
strap
very
in.
long
It's
one.
taking a while.
I made it even longer than it had to be.
really?
Yeah.
So we'll just get right into the fight. You can't do anything at first because he has a magical barrier surrounding him. So you just kind of like got to dick around until Susanoo shows up and brings the sake, and he spills it around the arena. And you have to use water spout to get Orochi's heads to drink the sake, so they will get drunk. I do kind of like that interaction of making them drink, but you have to make sure that they are doing the correct open mouth roar thing,
Right,
or else it doesn't work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that part could be frustrating.
Super frustrating.
I mean, I picked up on that pretty quick because like the mouth roars with different colors when it's ready to accept sake.
Yeah, but it's just
Yeah, you can't put alcohol in your mouth if it's only partially open. You have to like have a gaping mouth. Everybody knows that.
That's true.
So this is where I wasted a bunch of time in this boss fight, where I tried to get all 8 heads drunk, so I all got them to drink
Oh, at the
one
same
time.
Oh.
Yeah, and then I circled back. Yeah, I circled all
Ryan,
8
guess
heads,
what? I
came back
also did
around.
that.
Oh, okay, so it's not just me.
Yeah, and I was very frustrated at that. It was like, oh no, just 3 at a time. Just
Yeah,
3
it's
real
great.
quick.
Good,
Wait,
good for
3
me.
works?
Yep,
Yeah.
you just have to do 3
That's
at
really
first.
cool. I didn't know that. I did
So you-
one at a time.
Yeah, I
do
just did one
3
at a time.
and then you run up their heads and you beat the crap out of the bell in the back. And once you destroy the bell, you know, the magical barrier kind of dissipates and goes away. And then that's when we can fight Orochi for real. So the bell is shattered and the barrier is destroyed. Use the same kind of technique of putting the sake into all 8 of his heads. I do like the fact that all 8 heads are a different element. I think that's cool.
And a different, like, they attack very differently.
Yeah,
it's
their
not just
attacks
that
are
they
cool.
attack. Yeah, they don't just attack with different elements.
Whichever one spews out the dark shit. Yeah, didn't like that.
Yeah, the one that
I think
fills up with
that's-
water is the most annoying.
Yeah,
one.
I didn't like the water one.
I think
And
the
it's-
dark stuff, there are 2 things to bloom that will prevent it. Like
Well, I
in the
wish I would have known
environment.
that. I didn't
Yeah.
know that. That's,
Yeah, it
So
spits out a
this-
couple flowers, and if you
I think
don't
that
circle
this
those,
whole-
they turn into darkness.
This whole
Didn't know.
fight again is just like, it's just time consuming. That wasn't even like hard. It's just like
Yeah.
you gotta fucking do it like
forever.
twice almost.
It felt a bit tedious, and it's supposed to be like this big legendary fight. And
Yeah, I'm
it's
like, this like what you would imagine. This is your end boss from what you're thinking of starting the game, and it's like this is dumb.
Yeah,
Well, not dumb.
I was
Like
just-
I like the beginning mechanic, but I don't want to do it 16 times.
it feels like if they did this for 4 heads instead of all 8 heads twice, like if they did it for 4 heads twice, it might have felt a little bit better paced.
Yeah,
But,
I think that was the issue. It was so long in the tooth. It was just okay. You fight one head, and you can never. Once you get one head drunk and start beating it up, you can never finish it off in that one session. It was always 2. You always had to do it twice, at least for me.
I finished him off in the 1.
I did not. It was always 2.
I think the beads. I think I got some of them. I got so it was like there was a fingernail left.
Yeah, that's
like
pretty much what it was
"Ah!"
with me.
But then I like some of them I got like right on. So I was like, okay.
If this was the actual final boss fight, I think it might feel a little bit better, being that it's such a long fight. But sitting here in the middle of the game, it does feel a
I
little.
think it's because it's an illusion, right? Like the illusion up to this point is that Orochi is this giant beast of a thing that, you know, is of legend and takes so much time and effort. It took 2 people and, you know, the gods basically coming together to put this thing down, and then
You
This
just
is what
get
we're
him
doing.
drunk and smack him around with some anal
I
beads.
mean, to be fair, to take him down, there are 2 people involved.
yeah, and we get to
Like,
that part.
yeah.
Once we finally beat the crap out of all of his heads. And then Susanoo, you know, comes back and you do one of his cutscenes again. I actually do like this one. I think it is, you know, poignant to the story and of Susanoo's character, and it makes
Yeah.
sense. And I enjoy this part a lot.
Before that cutscene, he gets like power from the moon, and his sword turns all gold. And I like the little flower on his sword. Blooms.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
very-
the little
very-
branch that had it. Yeah, it sprouts a little bud.
I like this part a lot. And so you cut off all of Orochi's heads very violently, and then a cutscene happens. That's all I got. I got cutscene ensues.
So it's like so you help Susanoo cut off the first 7 heads, and then by himself he says, I have to do this alone, and he chops the last one like right in half.
Right down the middle.
It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right down- and it's like, whoa. I've been helping him do everything he's done up to this point. Like, he has shown no sign of having this kind of strength, and he just did that. Like, that, I don't know. That's definitely a moment of, okay, there's something to him that he has not shown.
Yeah, and then he just like
yeah.
sticks out his hands, and Bushi falls directly into it. It's so fun.
Yeah,
Great moment.
it is.
And then we go back to Kamiki Village. At once Orochi is killed, it kind of disperses. All this darkness disperses, and 4 dark things kind of descend or ascend up into the sky and kind of disperse into different directions, which you can assume we are going to go battle these dark beings
No, we're about to talk about the credits.
for the rest of the
Yeah,
And
You
that's
also
it.
get Nagi's sword.
Okami.
Yeah, what happens with that? I don't
Oh,
remember.
that's right. Yeah, I put the sword on as my sword.
Oh yeah, you do pick it up. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a real good compliment to the beads. So you whack 'em around with the beads, and then you get that one charge
Yep.
with the sword.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
Fuck 'em up. Yeah.
Also, he
the
looks
chart-
like Zacian with it. Like,
Yes.
it's just a good look.
It's very
yeah, that charge was pretty cool. I tried it. Did any of you guys try it as a main weapon? I tried it for.
Yeah,
I didn't like it.
I tried the 2 swords together. You get a fire sword later on, and they're 2 charge attacks. I like them, but I didn't stay with
Yeah,
them the whole time.
yeah. It doesn't say if you hold it down, it'll be even a more powerful attack. And it did. I'm like, this is taking too long. It's dumb. I don't want it on.
Yeah, I think it's
back to the
cool.
beads.
Yeah, it's especially good if you want to like be evasive in combat. You can just hold down square, be evasive, get the hit off, and then be evasive again while you're holding down square again. But it definitely took longer than either of the other weapons, so I ended up going back to Infinity Judgment.
All right. So we go back to Kamiki Village, and they're
It's
all
a party.
celebrating and shooting fireworks up in the air. And if you talk to the firework guy, he'll shoot off like 2 different sets of fireworks. Did you all talk to him? See the different fireworks he'll shoot?
Several times, because what I hate about this part is that little booger wouldn't let me leave. Like
Yeah,
I
I didn't
went through
understand
everything, and he's like, "Oh, we can't leave the party." And I'm like, "There's nobody left to fucking
I think
talk
it's a set
to."
amount of time you have to sit in the
It's like,
village.
God
before he'll
damn
let
it!
you
So
leave.
then I ran around again. I'm like, nobody's saying anything different. Went back into the fucking moon cave, all the way back to Susanoo and Kushi, and like listened to them talk about nothing again because I already talked to them several times each. Come running all the way back out, and like, why the fuck can't I leave? And finally, he let me go.
I think it's a set time that you have to
That's
be
bullshit.
in the village.
That's a
Because I did the same
horrible
thing. I
design.
talked to everybody nonstop, did everything I could in there, and then he just wouldn't let me leave. And then eventually he's like, "Are you sure you want to leave?"
Yeah, we
Like,
can't
yes,
go
I've
yet.
been trying to
I was like,
leave for like 15 minutes, sir. Please let me leave.
I did not have this problem. He came up to tell me we could head out before I even got to Susanoo and Kushi.
I never even talked to Susanoo and Kushi. It did
Yeah.
take
I
a
also
little while
didn't.
for
I
me to
didn't
be able
talk
to.
to them, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't let me.
definitely
I have no idea what triggers any of this. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you go in that cave that you did all the tutorial stuff in, and they have like
the
8
river
lines of
heavens.
yeah. they have,
Right.
like,
I mean,
8
I have
lines
no
of
idea what
dialogue.
triggers the end state, like the end flag.
That makes no sense at all.
So you want to hear something kind of cool though? Like, so there's this one. So Kamiki Festival going on. Everyone's celebrating that you took down Orochi. There's these 3 NPCs. I think it's like Mr. Bamboo, Nameless Man, and Kokuri's father, and they're all drinking the Thunder Brew sake.
Yeah.
You can use Water Sprout to launch the sake at their faces, and it electric shocks them and also gets them super drunk, and they all black out. And then if you like go into a house and come back out, they all woke up and they're all hungover and they're all like, "Ooh, you know what? I don't feel like drinking any more of that sake."
Then you make them drink more.
And they get knocked out again. Yeah, it's a very good little
my
detail.
That's wonderful.
So eventually, you can leave Kamiki Village. Isun will suggest finding the rest of the brush techniques. So you are making your way
Downtown.
out towards the city checkpoint, because that's the only place we haven't been yet. So
Did you guys read that as Checkpoint City, by the way? Because I definitely did, and I was like, it's a city of checkpoints.
Yeah,
Doesn't make
I was like, what is this Sonic level sounding place that we're going to?
Yeah.
Which one?
Checkpoint City.
Checkpoint
Checkpoint
City.
City.
Oh.
City checkpoint.
Yes. That would be a good Sonic level.
Yeah.
It's gonna be that new Sonic game that was announced that we know.
There
Is
you
that
go.
just a straight line with 50 checkpoints and then
Yeah,
a
it's
finish?
You're just
those
running
little
through
gates
'em.
everywhere. Yes.
You'll hit a couple of bounce pads and be like, boing.
And a couple of the signs that you make spin and make sure it's your face, not Dr. Robotnik.
So you leave the village, make your way to city checkpoint. It's out past Taka Pass. It was locked, or city checkpoint is locked because there's some kind of weird sickness thing going around. This is one of the parts I commented in the Okami section of the Discord, saying like this was the part I really enjoyed, is going to the city checkpoint and drawbridges up, and the guy is just dicking around, shooting arrows into a cannon. And you take one of the arrows and light it on fire with your Inferno technique, and it sets the cannon off and just blows up the entire fucking drawbridge.
The entire outpost on the other side is just annihilated.
So
And
good.
the dude's just like, I gotta go to the city.
Yeah, I don't work there anymore. Leaving.
Even though that's like a story progression moment, there really are a fair amount, like a good handful of moments like that are inconsequential to any story beats, like in the open world. That's one of the things I do like.
Yeah, it was great. I love that part so much. That
Cool.
felt very Zelda-like to me. Of like, oh, I get to interact with this thing out in the open, and it really is not set within a dungeon. It's going to make this thing kind of like, in Ocarina of Time, you give the ticket to the guy at the gate to get into Goron Mountain.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I played it, and I don't know what he's talking about. So.
Well, I know what I'm talking about.
Death Mountain.
Yes. Chris gets it. He knows. He has a podcast about it. He'll tell
I
you.
played it in high school. It was fucking many years ago.
high school. So you go through here and you're at Ryoshima Coast. Again, this area is cursed. Very straightforward section. We can only really go one direction here, okay? So we make our way into the one direction that we are able to go because it's telegraphed by the curse that is on the ground. There's a hole in the wall, excuse me, and you blow this hole up and you go inside and there's like all this water all over the place, and you use the water spout technique to make water travel up different layers of this cave. And I like this. This is kind of cool, but it also makes no sense because where's all this water coming from? You know,
From the little pool that you made.
it stays.
Oh, but you're not multiplying it, right?
It's magic water.
Yeah, man.
No,
You're a god.
no,
Dog piss. Who knows?
I don't like it. Matter doesn't come from nothing. Okay,
Because this is clearly based in reality.
well, it's my reality. They're breaking the laws of physics, and I don't like it. So you do all these different little ponds. You make your way up, and what is it? It's a guardian sapling on top of the hill, and it's withered. So then you make it bloom, and then you turn the world all nice again, and get one of those lovely cutscenes. Which these are great. These are fun. I like these.
In the overrun village here, so the two, like there are two shops that you can go to even though it's overrun. I wanted to ask Chris, did you catch the Resident Evil thing?
Oh no, I did not.
The shopkeeper here has herbal medicine with red and green herb mixed together.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I
It's
didn't
for a
even talk
side
to the
quest.
shopkeeper.
Yeah, it's literally the mixed herb in the rolling paper.
Oh wait, is this you're talking about in Saiyan City?
Yes. Am I?
okay.
I'm a bit early, aren't
Yeah,
I?
you're a bit. Yeah,
you're
that's fine
fine.
though. But yes, yeah, I did.
Sorry.
I bought all the quest items from him, but honestly, I was just like, oh, that's quest item. I didn't even notice it was a Resident Evil reference.
Yeah, it's all Capcom, so.
So we lift the curse in Ryoshima Coast. We have kind of free reign here to do whatever. You can go to the dojo now and get the double jump. You can go straight to the city. It's okay, dog.
Damn. She don't
Hit
double
the
jump.
bark button.
There, since we're stopping here,
Get the
I got
double
a
jump.
fun little mechanic. I don't know if any of you guys tried, but if you make a lily pad in the water
Mhm.
and then you blow yourself with the wind, you can sail.
I didn't know that. No. Oh. Yes, I did know that because there's a side quest later.
Yes, did you?
I didn't do that side quest, but I was having a hell of a time just going around, like just zipping around on a lily pad, just saying, wee.
There's a side quest that's essentially Crazy Taxi, but you're doing that with people throughout like Little River. It's not fun, and that's where I figured out that you can use the touch screens because it becomes so tedious if you're
Well,
not
yeah, just
using
getting to like those little islands where the stuff was. I was making lily pads and lily pads jumping to them. Like, I wonder. So I stopped on one and then I made the little gale wind and you just go sailing across. Like, it's pretty cool.
I was also
move around like that.
like hopping across them, and I didn't think to do the wind thing. But then later, like I tried to do a little bit of that Crazy Taxi mission, and well, the first guy I took him, he wanted to go to the carpenter, and I took him to the carpenter, but he wouldn't get off, and I was like, well, fuck this. This was awful to do this for one person, and several more people want help, and this guy won't even get off, so I'm done.
Yeah, you don't get a lot of praise for it anyway. It's really not worth it. Did you guys get the digging champ here at this dojo?
Oh yes,
Digging
essential.
upgrade? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get the double jump, the Holy Eagle, and the digging champ at this dojo.
I think I literally only bought the double jump.
Oh, okay.
Then the rest was just fighting, except for
It's
peeing and people or whatever.
it's crazy that the double jump is just something that you have to buy from the dojo because it is. I mean, it's essential for progression here.
Yeah. Right.
It's also not good. I don't like
That's
it.
good.
Oh,
I
Tyler,
think
we're
the jump
talking.
feels
Did you
pretty
know
good,
you
though.
could jump on a lily pad and use the gale wind and sail around the ocean and onto the lily pad?
Nope.
Not interested.
Why would I? Why would I?
I don't know. I had a fun time doing it.
How did
It's
you?
like,
know?
I wonder if it.
Who
I wonder if
told
it-
you?
Nobody. I got sick of jumping on lily pad on that giant body of water, so then I just tried it.
Chris,
I
what was the
sailed away.
other move? The double jump, the hard dig, or whatever it was called. What was the other one that you said you
There's
bought?
Holy Eagle and digging champ.
What is
the double
Holy
jump
Eagle?
and the dig? Double jump?
Oh, that's
it's
just
the-
what it's called. Okay.
Yeah.
So, did you guys get the double jump before you went to Science City, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I tried going into that fucking ship before.
I also went into the ship
I also
before you're
tried to go
supposed
into the ship.
And they're
It's
like, well, I guess
you
it's
can't
locked.
go in the door.
I didn't get the double jump until after I went to Science City.
That's fine. I don't think
Yeah,
it really
Saiyan
changes too
essential.
much.
It was Cyan or Saiyan? How are we saying that?
Saiyan, I think.
I think
How
it's
are we
cyan.
saying that?
Cyan.
Thank you. Is this
That's
on?
what I'm saying.
I have a Skyward Sword. We're covering Skyward Sword for Hello Hyrule right now, and we say Phi and Phi interchangeably like every episode. It's probably infuriating to listen to.
No, that's the correct decision.
To say both?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because who
Okay.
knows? Nobody knows.
Fair.
They don't.
I
even know.
refuse to decide between Rayquaza and Rayquaza. So
There you go.
You gotta throw in some foe and some fun there.
Yeah,
Do you
exactly.
fun?
So we go to Science City. Things here are bad. They are not good at all. There's just gross air all over the place. People are dying and sick. Trying to get to see the Emperor and the Empress, and they can't. She's been held up inside of the palace or whatever and she just won't see anybody. So you make your way around. I kind of did this in a really ass backwards way, just because the way that this whole area is set up. I went and talked to Benkei first, who is like on the way to the palace, and he's like the fisherman, and he tells you, "Oh, you need to get some like water."
The sword guy.
Yeah. Many One Piece references, and I don't know if that's because this is related to other Japanese stories or not. But when we get to the end of this, I want to relate all the stuff that's in One Piece now in this. Anyways, this guy is part of One Piece. And he tells you that he wants to catch his fish, but there's no water, so you gotta like help figure out a way to get water restored into the city. So then you're kind of like dicking around and looking for the carpenter, and you find him like off in a corner somewhere, and then you have one of the worst mini games ever happen to you, which I did the mole mini game previously in Taka Pass, so I already knew what I was getting into.
Yeah, there was one that was required. One of these that was required last time as well to get the water in the
yeah,
for Mr. Bamboo.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're acquainted with this, and it sucks. It's not fun.
Fine.
The thing that sucks about this, in my opinion, is when you have to push someone up using water.
Yeah, and to get them out of danger.
Everything else, I think, is pretty tolerable if you know how to deal with the different blocks. The water thing is just so finicky. You don't have enough time. Like, the water only goes up sometimes. It's hard to say why.
Yep.
That was my experience.
Well, even this one isn't as bad as the one that's later. Like, I had much more problems on the side quest one for someone we haven't talked about yet.
Yeah.
Well, it's not even a side quest. You have to do that to get the fire.
I just thought it was a side quest.
No, you have to do that one.
To get the fire, the fire
tablet. Yeah, go.
Felt like a side
the weapons dealer is also here, and you can buy that fire sword we were talking about earlier, which is cool, and some more dust, which I now have like 3 or 4, so I've started just using it on whatever.
You're buying all that dust.
There's plenty.
Snorting it up.
All that gold dust. So then you restore water to the canals, and Benkei wants you to help him find a living sword, which is a fish that we find out. But you have to
Swordfish.
First, you have to buy a freaking fishing pole for this guy and waste more money.
Yes.
I bought them both right away.
So
I did too. Yeah, I went in that shop and was like, fishing poles.
yeah,
I don't know that I've used the other one yet.
there's a side quest for it in the next area to catch the Merlin. But like this area, this was maybe like my least favorite area because I refused to use a walkthrough, and it's a lot of just wandering around and talking to people until you find the correct people to talk to. The fisher guy, the carpenter, and then the fisher guy again to know you need the fishing rods if you have not already bought them.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just it annoyed me for sure.
There's such an abundance. There's such an abundance of side quests here that I was like, it's running late. Like, I am just going to knock. I don't want to miss any of this content, but I don't want to go back and forth any longer than I have to. So I totally followed a guide.
Yeah,
until getting past the side quest stuff as well.
Benkei wants you to help him get the fish. You get the fishing pole. You help him with the fish. It's the third fish, just like the last time you were doing a fishing mini game. And you pull it out. You do a couple of slices and dices on it. And yeah, that's it. And then you get the fish, and then he lowers the bridge. Mm-hmm. How about that?
How about it?
Then you get to see Isin be a super pervert.
That's right. Yep. Because we're going to go across the bridge, and we're going to meet Rao. How are we saying this? Rao? We're saying Rao.
Rao, because it's a dog, because you're a dog? Rao?
It's R-A-O. I don't know.
Rao.
How do you say that?
I don't know
how to say that. Anyways, you meet her. She works for the Empress or whatever, and she's
a nun, right?
I don't know. She's something.
Because she's a sister. She's got the.
Listen, this is where my notes get really small and slim, and there's not a lot to go on.
I'm pretty sure she's supposed to be like a nun.
I don't know. She has something to do with prayer. Anyways,
she's a priestess.
Wants you to do a bunch of stuff for her, but she's like, I can't because I don't have my prayer slips. So then you just kind of got to dick around until you come across her prayer slips, hide in a corner randomly in the middle of this courtyard. It makes no sense. This part sucks because it doesn't tell you what to do. It kind of just telegraphs, I need prayer slips, but that's it. Mm-hmm. And you just got to look for them randomly.
Yeah, you just got to look around, which I mean is what the game wants, I think, but I don't know. It's like it's not like there's a bunch of other stuff to discover there that you can do yet. So it's kind of purposeless.
But it's a big area, and is it back in the first area? Is it in the area after her?
Yeah,
because she doesn't say if it's in the aristocrats' quarters. It doesn't say if it's in like the central town. It's unclear.
I spent a lot of time looking in that main aristocrat quarter, not going into the entrance to the emperor's area for whatever reason.
Yeah. There's a little girl in one of the houses here in the aristocratic quarter that sings you a cute little song, though. I like.
She sings it at nighttime and in daytime, but if you go in there at night, the parents yell at you. And if you see her outside the house in the daytime, then she's fine.
Yeah, there's another house you can go into, and the people like on top are like, "Why is a dirty dog in here? Get this dog out of here right now." But you find the prayer slips, and you take them back to her, and she kind of alludes to this item that you need to get. She wants you to help her get this item out of the sunken ship that was in Rio, whatever the coast was, Ryoshima coast. So you go back to the ship and do some platforming up onto this area so you can draw a moon, which will make the tide recede, which is kind of cool. And then you go into the receded tide and get into the ship that some of us probably tried to get into from the get-go.
Yeah, I did.
I like the mechanic of her riding on your back and throwing the prayer slips at the enemies.
Yes.
Also, what the fuck's up with the swamp thing monster that's in there?
I thought he was cool.
I love that.
Comes up like what the fuck?
Oh, the hand.
He's weird, but I liked him.
So I don't have a lot of notes on the sunken ship. Just using Ro or Rao in the sunken ship and using her slips to get through barriers and stuff and fighting
And
off
get
like
a crap load of
demon
demon fangs.
Yeah,
No,
that was cool. I like that.
Also, the creepy doll face girl that if you get close to it, it just like hovers over your fucking camera and you're just like, ah!
Yeah,
That was a cool moment.
I don't think I saw that.
I wasn't expecting that from this game. Yeah, there's like one haunted room. Yeah, the hand thing. So like, there's a puzzle where you have to jump through the hand as it makes different like finger movements.
Yep.
That's a wall master from Zelda. Like almost every Zelda has.
It'll also come up from the bottom and like lift you out of the water enough to reset the water timer if you're swimming. Are you talking about the Spider Queen and Crimson Helm ghost faces?
No, in the pirate ship, there's definitely like a haunted little girl.
Oh,
I
guess I didn't get close enough to that.
I think what you're talking about is the same thing, though. Like, it is the face of the Spider Queen and the face of the Crimson Helm that comes up on your screen and it's being spooky.
Yeah.
Oh, my mistake.
That's okay. I thought so.
But yes, it is creepy. There's also a bunch of creepy dolls here that I was like, what the hell is going on here? This is scarier than Resident Evil 4. It's not really.
I think this is my favorite dungeon in the game so far. I really like this sunken ship.
Yeah, there's some cool puzzles.
A lot of water moving puzzles, just raising water levels to get to other areas.
You gotta hook that
water
barrel
levels
up,
by using the tide and the sun within openings of the ship.
Yeah, there's two like little crab guys that you fight, and then when you come back, they combine together to make a big ass
Jiro
fucking
and
shark.
Saburo are their
Which is super
names.
cool.
I hated those.
I love fighting big ass sharks.
Well, the shark was fine. I didn't like them separately. They're pain in the ass.
They were fine.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah, I thought they were okay.
It's an interesting toss up because like there's no other comp. I think they put water in the arena for that fight too, right?
Yeah.
Shark.
So like you have to
shark. Yeah.
Yeah, so they changed things up finally in the combat a bit with those.
Yeah, but you basically just same thing that you did with the first time that you fought those two. Is you just got to knock off the armor and then
power slash the armor off.
and then hit the weak spot.
Yeah, that swamp monster thing. I also liked after you drain the water, you can roll those spiked barrels over his face and crush him. You get a shitload of
I
praise.
did that. That was fun.
Oh, that's how. Okay, I just tried whipping and power slashing. I didn't think to try and roll the barrels.
But then we get through the sunken ship. It's pretty short. Not a lot of stuff going on here. And we're going after the lucky mallet. But we get out of the ship and we kind of like pass out or something.
Wait,
I don't remember.
We're going after the fire rods, actually, that were supposed to be on that ship.
Fox rods.
That's it. And happen to get the lucky mallet, which allows us to go into the next dungeon.
You got it. Nailed it.
And you pass out when you're leaving because you start fucking running away from the dragon, whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah, the dragon is chasing you and
he actually
Rao
eats you,
jumps
I
off
think.
and runs
The
away.
sea dragon. Yes.
Yeah, she just jumps off and just starts booking it across the water.
You're
It's
slow,
what the
bro."
fuck? Across. So then you get
Top-notch
eaten.
animation.
Oh.
But you wake up and you're on the coast and you chase the lucky mallet all the way back to Cyan City. And again, my notes are getting very, very.
Yeah, it's this weird sequence where like the hammer is just floating in a direction in front of you, and you have to know to chase it. Like it's not
Yeah.
going somewhere; it's just in
It,
front
like,
of you in a
bounces a little, yeah.
direction. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the dog tracker.
Yeah, exactly like the dog tracker.
And
Very
then-
cartoony too. It doesn't
Yeah.
seem right. It's like Looney Tunes.
And then you get outside of like the Emperor Palace or something, and then like it.
Then you just pick it up.
Yeah, and like
See, I
from-
thought I fucked it up when you go into that little intersection with Rao. I'm like, it disappears. Like it's not in that room at all. And it's like, what the? Did I lose it?
That's
but I
weird.
went through that. I'm like, oh, it's there. Okay, who cares?
Yeah. So then, this
And
is
then-
the Minish Cap power.
Yeah,
This is the best.
This is my favorite part of the game so far.
Just the best.
So we
Little
follow
guy,
the
big world.
mallet back to the crack in the wall where you found the prayer slips earlier, and the mallet smashes you on the top of the head on your noggin, and you become little tiny. Now we're tiny. We're little Minish Cap people. We're same size as Isun, and we finally get to see what Isun looks like in his regular form. He looks-
Mm-hmm.
I already knew what it looked like because I drew the design because I looked them up. But
Yeah. Yeah, and this is another like long section. It's weird, like for most of the game you don't have anybody riding on your back, but then 2 sections in a row they have a full dungeon with a character on your back.
Yeah, and Isun is cool when he's on your back because like he kind of throws. I can't remember if he throws something or if he himself jumps off
He jumps.
and attacks the stuff and then brings
Yeah,
it
he
back to
jumps
you.
off.
So he can jump through like different barriers that are you can't reach stuff. Which is pretty cool. This area is a lot of little person big world type stuff. Going through and jumping around on platforms. You go to a cave. You can't get past. People are walking. They have their brooms. You can't get past. So there's like a cave up in the top left corner.
Just before you get to that point, you get to meet Kaguya for the first time, who is the
Correct.
girl that the Emperor has imprisoned. And how many of you knew exactly which Japanese myth this was replicating when you first met Kaguya?
None.
As
Because I was
soon as
too
she
worried
said
about Isun
bamboo,
being a dick the whole time.
as soon as she said she was the Mr. Bamboo's granddaughter, I was like, oh shit, this okay. So the myth of Kaguya in Japanese mythology is the birthing of the moon god. So a child was born to a piece of bamboo, and bamboo farmers found this child, and it was the most beautiful girl in all of Japan, even though she was from a poorly farmer's family. Got courted many times by numerous different emperors, and she like rebuked them all over the years because she always felt not at home on Earth before one day the moon recalled her back.
Oh,
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
That was-
so I knew the moment I met her that she's gone.
That was the most nuts story ever. I'm glad I was not familiar with that because it was just nuts and stupid in the best
Yeah.
possible way when she
Yeah, I
just
definitely
jumps on a
wasn't expecting
spaceship
what
later.
happens with her. So
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't see the spaceship exactly coming, but I knew she wasn't like going to be a character along for the story.
I'm glad you knew that. That's an interesting fact.
Also, Isun's life seems terrible because apparently he's dealing with these fucking spiders all the time, just massive spiders everywhere. That
yeah, Ryan, how did you like
sucks.
this area?
I got through it.
they're not even that creepy though. Like,
Yeah.
No, they're not that bad.
they're like extremely tame. Like let's play what's the grounded
Grounded?
again and like get them to chase them in a little.
The spiders
hole.
in Grounded are fine. They're not that bad.
There's also a lot of big feet, and I have the note. I'm glad Eason doesn't have a foot fetish because he would be insufferable here.
We don't know. Like, they're not women though, so that's why he doesn't care about them.
Yeah, that's fair.
He could have gotten to that cell with what's her name? Could have been a different story.
That's right. So we're getting through this area, and there's brooms going, and we can't get past because they're just always in the way. Just game design. Can't get past these brooms, so we got to go up. There's like a little cavern up to the left-hand side, or right. I don't remember.
We got circled back all the way around, I think, don't we? Oh no, there's that little spot you can go
Yeah, there's a
into,
little
but you
spot.
still got to end up going all the way around it.
Yeah, and you do a bunch of platforming to go from spider to spider to spider to spider, and you make your way down into this area. There's like a little wall. You go inside the wall, and there's a big ass jar hanging on a string. You cut that string, drop the jar. You go inside the jar, and then you do a little wind motion, and it blows all the mist inside of the jar out. And
Yeah.
then we learn a new technique for some reason.
And the jars like this are actually a common theme in Japanese and Chinese mythology, most notably in Journey to the West, where there's like a bunch of different jars that like either house giant boiling pots or the winds or numerous different things.
Yeah, using the wind to like get the mist out of the jar felt clever, even though it's just the solution. But I thought it was a
It's like the
puzzle.
It's like the 6 demon bag in Big Trouble in Little China.
Also,
I
yes.
definitely know what you're talking about.
You have to. If you've not watched it, I don't care. You have to watch Big Trouble in Little China.
I've seen.
I don't
that
care
one.
if you're not a movie watcher. It's a movie you must watch.
Okay, I believe you.
Carry on.
I love the character for this ability, the drunken sheep.
Yes, this is my favorite.
Just getting
so far.
hammered, and then he
Doing
like
Matrix
attempts.
stuff.
He like gets drunk and attempts to do like a Matrix thing, but then gets hit by
just
every
eats
single
shit.
thing.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
It's real good.
So good.
And then we learn the mist brush technique, and this technique is pretty cool. Just you do 2 little lines across the screen, and you get to slow down time for a little bit. Very cool.
For I agree, there are like little dips in quality here and there, but like, man, they really do have you learning some pretty cool like powers throughout this. And like the fact that you can just at any time use these powers is kind of like sitting here talking about it. Like it's one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, that is kind of cool that you could just do these.
Yeah.
Like this lets you slow down time if you draw basically an equal sign at any point.
And I think that it comes to a head in this section when you get to the boss, because this section is my favorite just because it culminates with that boss fight, and I think that boss fight is super fun. That is an actual fun combat encounter that I enjoyed anyways.
Is there a boss in the pirate ship, or are you talking about Blight?
The one when you're small with the what is
Blight.
it called?
And the girl's
Gold nail.
body.
Blight.
You're fighting
Okay.
Gold Nail. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's the name of the sword.
That's
but
the sword. Yeah, the
sword.
Blight.
creature's
But I think
blight.
the character is Blight, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a wild sequence.
Yeah, I love this. So we get the slow down time ability. We can finally make it past the brooms that are on the ground, and then we just kind of make our way up into the Emperor's palace. And it's just more platforming, more spider stuff, more slowing down time to make our way into the Emperor's like attic type areas, and we kind of platform our way around to the rafters and make our way above the Emperor himself. And then we do one of my favorite things is we go inside of his body. I
Yes.
love shit where it's like go tiny and get inside of that person's body. That stuff is awesome.
Yeah, I thought that was great.
So
Very,
I don't know that going into his mouth gets you to his heart quite that way, but
Hey, it's gaming
It's
science.
just such a
gaming and
different. It's just such a different environment from anything you've done.
You don't
Yeah.
go to the heart, Tom.
Yeah, they're in your stomach, right?
Yeah, they're in the stomach.
Yeah,
the weird bump in his stomach.
you're right.
All right, he's got stomach
he's
cancer.
got-
You making fun of him for it,
50
Tom?
swords in his stomach all at once, stabbing him all the time.
They do not have good healthcare.
No. So you're inside the Emperor's body, and you kind of do a little bit of walking, and then eventually you make it to the stomach, and you find out the cause of all the mist and all the sickness was this darkness called blight that was inside of the Emperor, and it was kind of spewing out of his mouth. And so then you fight Blight, and Blight is basically just a big culmination of swords all in one, and it's very funny. It's like all kinds of different attacks that, like, if you slow down time at the right point, you can kind of hit this main sword, which we find out is called the Gold Nail. And that sword is actually what is infected with the darkness curse that's kind of infecting the Emperor and the rest of the city. And you can slow down time and kind of attack that sword. And when you attack that sword, all the other ones kind of disperse. And then you're able to just unload on it and just beat the shit out of it. I like this fight a lot. I think it was really fun and intuitive.
Yeah, this was a fun fight.
Yep.
Yep, cool one.
one.
So then you fight them, all them swords, and you beat the gold mail sword. Then you
Imagine having like gas so bad that it traveled throughout the whole town and made everyone in the town feel deathly sick.
yeah, it's
That's
not
happened
good.
before.
That's why I had to move to Arizona. Yeah.
So the Emperor is cured, but Isun still wants to take control of him to unlock Kaguya from herself. So then you have this weird little moment where you are controlling the Emperor, and it's kind of just like this weird bump technique that you're using.
Yeah, because you're just
to get
basically hitting them from the inside,
I
right?
love this
Yeah.
animation.
Yeah.
It's so good.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you take the Emperor to Kaguya's cell and make him unlock the cell, and then you immediately just jump out of his body. So that's it. And then you do your victory howl in the middle of the courtyard, right there.
Why wouldn't you?
I don't know. I don't have a lot of notes here.
Yeah, there's this is also, I think, the second time that Isun's family is mentioned. I think when Kaguya is talking about her family, and like that's got to be a big thing somewhere in the story at some point, right? Because they bring it up again later. Waka brings it up. Sounds like he's almost like threatening them or something.
Yeah.
So then we learn that we still can't get to the Empress. So we have to go help Kaguya with her issue that she has. She wants to go talk to Mr. Bamboo again. So you have to go to
Gotta go home, man.
Yeah, so we got to go to Sasa Sanctuary, and then we find out we got another digging mini game we got to do. So we're doing some digging. We're digging.
This is the shitty one. This is
Yeah,
the
this
one that
sucked. I
And
did
this
not
one
like
super sucks. I don't really like any of them, but this one super sucks too. And
thought it was
what are we
fine.
digging for? We're digging for fucking spaceships, man. That's what.
It's so weird.
Who'd have thunk?
Just a big spaceship, and she just
I thought
flies
Has a
to
good
the moon.
resolution.
It's so weird.
So we dig through the dirt. We get her spaceship, and then she just flies away, but not before she gives you the fire tablet, which is a random artifact that you can equip, just randomly throwing some new equipable artifact on you.
that makes you immune to fire.
Yeah, what
Lets
the
you walk in fire.
Isn't
right?
it? But
Yeah.
we're like over 2/3 the way through the game now, and it looked like there's slots for at least 2 more of those.
Yeah, there are a few. So this is where the divine fang items go. You get a few.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay, that
like
makes more sense.
passive equipable items.
I've just been saving my fangs.
Oh yeah, the Emperor will also trade your divine fangs for shit. I guess we should mention that.
He has some of the better ones. He has one that lets you fast travel from any save point.
Oh, that's amazing.
Seems great. I would love to
And
have
it's like-
that, but I also
it's
want
like
to save
80
80 of them.
fangs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have like 38 or something.
Say what?
I only have like 38 things. I have not been doing.
Yeah, I
great.
don't know how many I have. I didn't buy anything. I know that.
I'm in the 60s right now.
I just hit 80.
Ooh, quit bragging.
I'm just peeing on everybody, man.
That's right.
That's the trick.
I wonder what the poop one does. Has to do a lot.
Can't wait to find out.
Double thing. So then we go back to the Emperor's Palace, and we can finally go up. You have to do your mist technique to walk past 2 guards. I actually like this a little bit because they're like looking around like, what the hell? What happened? And you just like saunter on past and make your way up. Then you equip the fire tablet, and you walk across this ridiculous lake of fire that's inside of this building for some reason that's not burning the entire building down, that's made of wood. That's fine. And you talk to the Empress, and I don't have her name written down.
Kimiko.
Empress Samiko.
What is it?
Kimiko.
Kimiko? You're right. Yeah.
Kamiko, however you want to pronounce it. I love that they build this meeting up like it seems like it's going to be a boss fight, like she's possessed by something, and then she's just like incredibly beautiful.
Yeah, and he soon falls in love with her. He calls
Yeah.
her a little hag at some point.
A great
And,
little cartoon animation of just hearts popping off his head as he slowly drifts
Yeah.
to the ground. It's great.
And she basically just tells you about this island that you can't get to, and that you need the water dragon's help because it will displace the barriers surrounding the island. It's the only thing that can break the barriers so you can get to the island. That's where all the demons are actually coming from. I don't have it written down because I'm bad at my job.
The name of the island? Oni Island.
Oni Island, thank you.
I wrote down Oni Island's like Count Dracula's castle on Castlevania.
Sorry.
Which isn't Capcom, it's
By
Konami.
this point in the game, I was very tired and annoyed, so I just stopped taking notes.
Yeah, I like that she asked you to calm the water dragon, and this is the second time that Isun is like, well, I'd always love to help a lady in need, but if Amy says no, it is what it is. And then you say yes, and he's like, what? We're actually doing this twice? Yeah, he does that, and I like it.
That's a good moment.
And she gives you a slip that lets you get into the North Ryoshima coast. So you make your way out of the city and you go up. As soon as you come out of the city, you go to the right, and there's like 2 little guards at the post, and you give them the slip. They let you in. Once you get into this area, there's like a bunch of these little wheel enemy guys. One has a nose on it that Tom was alluding to earlier, called it a dick nose or something. I don't know. Is that what you said, Tom? Said something about that?
Exactly what I said.
Thank you.
Sounds like Tom.
So you fight old Dick Nose Wheel, and you keep going down the beach, and you see this guy, and he's getting beat up by a bunch of kids for some reason, and you headbutt him, or you talk to the kids, and the kids kind of scatter, they leave him alone, and then you headbutt the guy, and he's like the envoy, basically, for the Dragon Palace, and he tells you about Orca, who is the person who will actually get you to the Dragon Palace, but you have to find out if you're worthy or not.
Yeah, real quick, we skipped over when you come to this area. Waka is here and says that he like purified this area already, so he somehow has the ability to revive this.
I told you I forgot to write anything down about Waka. I just skipped over it.
He likes croissants.
I'm just mad that we got robbed of seeing that area get beautified.
Yeah. But I mean, this game seems to like it's better to have things not get old, I guess, than to make you do things too many times. So
yeah. I'm not using guide almost at all for this game, but so did you guys figure out what to do with that weird like steel fruit that the archer guy is shooting at on the Sakuya's sapling?
No.
Yes.
You shoot water on it.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
You shoot. Yep. Nope. Tom got it.
You were literally talking about, I think you and I were actually talking about this, Tyler. You're like, oh yeah, you really love the fire arrow part. And I'm like, well, he does it again. So it's like, And this is that part. That guy is there.
It's Yoichi. Yeah, it's Yoichi again.
Yeah, I didn't do that. So I was looking out for it, but I guess I wasn't looking too hard because I didn't see that part.
Yeah, just standing right there.
Yeah, it ripens the fruit and drops it.
Well, after we talk to Urashima is the guy on the beach, by the way. Once we talk to Urashima, he tells you about Orca, and you have to go basically stand on this dock that's on the beach right in front of you during sunrise, and then Orca will appear. You talk to him, and you can kind of hop on his back, and there's like a tower off into the distance
with the kitties,
and you can kind of ride around on his back, and there's all kinds of different islands that you can go and investigate. There's different treasure chests that you can find along the way. The water serpent or whatever is swimming around, so if you're not fast enough, it'll bite you. And
it's fun running away from him on the lily pad as you're using the wind to shoot yourself around.
Yeah, Orca is adorable. I like Orca, but I don't like that until you do the tower anyways. She just keeps reminding you of like the Whirlpool Galaxy or whatever thing. Every time you want to ride somewhere, it's super annoying. Just skipping through that dialogue over and over if you're doing all the side quest stuff here, because there's several times you're going to have to get on and off.
Yeah.
Also, I for some reason assumed that the tower was Oni Island and that I could not go there. So it was the last thing I had to do anyway, and I was like, I'm out of stuff to do. I guess I'll try to go to Oni Island, and it's not Oni Island. It's the Catcall Tower.
Yeah, and as Chris alluded to, we have to go to the Catcall Tower to progress the story. So once we get to the Catcall Tower, guess what's there?
Cats.
A bunch of cats.
Yep.
All kinds of cats.
Huge freaking tower.
Yep. And we got to climb this bad boy. We climb it. There's like paw prints that you can kind of follow. They're glowing on the side of this tower.
Are you all feeding all the cats on the way up?
Yes, I am. Of course I am. I'm feeding every animal still.
I didn't stop. I think I stopped once and got a chest. After about 30 seconds of climbing this tower, I'm like, this tower is already too fucking tall. This is my big nitpick. I hate how goddamn tall this tower is.
Oh, well, I got a funny story about this tower when we get to the top. So,
me too.
Oh no!
Yep. So, you get your way up to the top of the tower. There's a couple of platforms along the way, maybe 5 or 6, that you can kind of stop. And as Chris said, you can feed cats. A couple of them have treasure chests or whatever. You make your way up to the top, the very, very top, and there is a constellation that you can fill out to get a new technique. It's called the catwalk, and you meet a new little god guy here. That's fine.
can I
cat.
guess what you guys did you not have enough fish to feed the cat at the top?
Nope. No, I was good on that.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, they do give they give you a mermaid coin and a pond here in case you do not have enough fish, which I did, but it's nice of them to do that.
Which instead of doing that, just give the fish, like give the whatever for the fish for the cat.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
But
So
go on.
I got through this part, and I got the catwalk, and I was like, okay, I'm going to continue on. I saw the pond. I was like, oh, the pond's cool. I could get down that way. Or I could just jump from the top of this tower. That would be a fun way to get down.
That's what I did.
Yeah, same.
It would not let me. I landed on the fucking gold platform on the very bottom. The very first gold platform that there was. It caught me on that platform, and it wouldn't let me drop off of it. So I had to climb all the fucking way back up. I did everything I could.
Yes, you cannot
to try to drop off of it. It would not let me fucking drop.
Yes, it is true. If you land on one of those golden platforms, you cannot get off of them. They're specifically
Anyways,
there to make
so I
sure that
landed
you
on the
can't keep
bottom
falling
one.
down, but you
climbed all
can
the
jump
way
off the
fucking back
top and get down to the bottom.
Climbed that
That's
tower twice.
terrible.
Yeah, it sucked. I climbed that tower twice.
So
it's not
my story is a little bit better. If you want to get all the stray beads, there's one that doesn't appear until you've completed the full tower, and the only way you get it is you have to walk all the way back up the tower a second time. But at least for me, and I think that's a real cheap trick. Like I'm not excusing that at all. I think that's bad. But for me, at least, I was able to jump off of like that diving board and fall all the way. I actually took a note. Like I thought that was a cool moment that the game seamlessly lets you get all the way to the bottom. Okay.
Unless you're Tyler.
So so we already did Catwalk Tower, but did you guys get the power ups on these stray islands over here?
I caught the marlin, and I got the the cyclone power from catching that.
Okay, so that's the upgraded Gale Wind. There's also an upgraded. There's also an upgraded Power Slash and an upgraded.
Is that for giving money to those springs, the sacred springs? Okay, I didn't know how much money to give, and I was not flush. So
there's Power Slash 2 and Cherry Bomb 2. Power Slash 2 lets you break those hard rocks that you see everywhere. I mean, don't worry about that if you don't care about praise. Like all that's under there are clovers that give you like 40 praise.
I kind of want to get them.
Okay, and then Cherry Bomb 2 lets you use 2 bombs at once.
I use so many bombs.
Which spring is the Power Slash? Because I don't care about double bombs.
So from the right, the fourth one from the right is Power Slash. The third one from the right is Cherry Bombs.
Yeah.
I took note of it because I had to keep going back. I had to go sell stuff and then come back.
Yeah.
How much money does it take?
It's like 30-something thousand.
One is like 120,000 and one is like 60,000. Yeah.
Okay, well maybe I won't get that then.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I
got those upgraded wallets, right?
Yeah, quadruple purse, man.
I can carry a lot of money, but I don't have a lot of money. I mean, just like real life, man. I could put a lot of money in that wallet. I ain't got none though.
You don't stay rich by spending your money. All right, that's
what they say. So now that we have the catwalk ability, we can go back to, there's an area, if you check the map, like as soon as you come into the North Ryoshima coast, there's an area to the left, and you can sail around the backside of it, or you can just jump down. I sailed around the back, I believe. And there's a little cat statue, and you use the brush. The way that the catwalk technique works is you use the brush, connect to the cat statue, make a giant line up, whatever you're walking up. So then you climb to the top of this cliff, and you have to fight a Cyclops, which is a really weird design because he's smoking a pipe. And then you just beat the shit out of this guy, and there's some like random dude that's like standing up here, and he's called a Watcher, and he just standing on this ledge, and he's talking to you about the Whirlpool Galaxy. And turns out that was the whirlpool that Orca and Hiroshima was talking about this whole time that we need to get to the Dragon Palace.
Yeah.
So that was stupid.
I thought it was.
I didn't like that.
Fine. And yeah, haters. I liked the visually like spinning the galaxy. It makes no damn sense, but I liked it visually seeing it spin around in the sky.
No, I don't like how it's like, oh, hey, talk to him at night, and then you draw a random dot in the sky to make a shooting star, and then after that, he'll tell you about the Whirlpool Galaxy, and that's the only way that you can progress the Whirlpool Galaxy. Is to...
I thought it was cool because that's like the only time we draw stars outside of the constellations.
Oh,
Yeah.
I did not enjoy it.
I
mean, you do the same thing to make trees pop up on the ground. So
Yeah, have you done that to attack enemies?
Yes.
I did it, and then I was like, that's dumb.
Yeah, I used it a few times.
And then I was
You're
like,
muted, Chris.
I keep forgetting that the tree thing is even a possibility.
Yeah.
So then you go, it's nighttime, you stand on this little tablet, and then you use the Gale Storm to make the galaxy spin. You do it 3 times, and it'll keep spinning and spinning and spinning, and then a big old whirlpool pops up in the
That's
middle of
it.
the ocean. You can get on Orca's back and ride it on in. Also, the name Odahime was mentioned at some point, and she is the person who is in charge of the Dragon Palace, and the Dragon Palace has all these people that are friends to the dragons, the water dragon. They're going to help you tame it, something like that. That's the goal.
Okay, I didn't even go down that whirlpool. I stopped right there.
Yeah, I haven't. Yeah.
Oh, I went down the whirlpool. That's it.
yep, and then that's where I stabbed.
Yeah, there's nothing in there. Once you go in there, you go into the whirlpool, and there's just a giant castle under the sea, and you save right. There's a save point right there, and that's where I stopped.
Under the sea.
Yep. So that's it.
Yeah, that's this
Yeah.
section.
Awesome.
Nice. You covered a lot of ground there in like 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my notes really helped at the end because I didn't have a lot. Just like skipping over stuff. Very
I'd like to thank
platform
my
heavy.
notes and
Yeah, but I mentioned there's a lot of One Piece references in One Piece right now. There is an arc. It's very heavily Japanese inspired, especially like feudal Japanese culture and stuff with samurais and ninjas and all that kind of stuff. And many of the names that are in this current arc have been used
No.
in this game.
Oh.
As my stuff froze. There we go.
Phew.
So one of the names, Odahime, we learn closer to the end of this section. In One Piece, she is the like queen of this undersea kingdom, and that's like direct reference to the Dragon Palace and what's going on there. So I thought that was interesting. I don't know if that's an actual person. Ryan, take it.
It is an actual person from Japanese mythology. She is daughter of Ryujin, the dragon god of the sea.
Okay, there we go. So in One Piece, she is the queen of the fishmen, which are like these undersea mermaids and mermen that live in this giant underwater bubble. And it gets very racially charged. It's a hot take on racism, but it's good. It's a good storyline. And then Orochi is actually one of the main villains in this current arc of One Piece. And he is this emperor who kind of took over, and he actually turns into an 8-headed beast. So that's pretty cool. And then Nami is the person who was mentioned at the start of the legend with the first fight with Orochi 100 years ago. And that is one of the main characters in One Piece. She's on the pirate crew. So I just thought that was interesting. A lot of One Piece characters and references in this game so far.
I think that relates back to that a lot of animes reference Japanese mythology.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's just fun. Just
oh
fun
yeah,
for
for
me.
sure. No, absolutely, man. That's I connecting those dots is always fun. Whatever you're connecting them to.
Yeah,
We had a couple questions from our favorite questionnaire, Rob.
we sure did. So Rob asked us, do we want to do this first one? Since we didn't really
Do it.
tackle the Dragon
Do it.
Palace.
Do it. I don't care.
Did the name live up to your expectations? Was there, in fact, a dragon at the palace?
We don't know, Rob. Don't you look at where the
Yes,
cutoff
Rob,
points
it's
are?
on.
Yeah,
God
we said
damn
the
it.
start of. Technically, yes, there was a dragon.
Yeah, there's a
Not
giant
at the
water
palace.
We
dragon.
know there's a
All
dragon
that
at some
shit.
point.
So yes, giant water dragon, Rob.
Yes. So his other question is, how does this game compare to some of your favorite and least favorite Zelda games now?
I can start because I've got a very short list of Zelda games, with Spirit Tracks being on the least favorite scale and Breath of the Wild being on the favorite scale. I like the weapons a lot more in this than Breath of the Wild. I am not a fan of the degrading weapons. It doesn't give me any sense of real power growth, I feel personally. But I think everything else is way better than Spirit Tracks.
Yeah, I think the for all the complaints that we've had about like some of the combat not being like super complex or hard, I think it is more interesting than combat has ever been in Zelda. Zelda's just not really about the combat, it's about the puzzles and the exploration. And I'd say the best parts of Okami are still the puzzles, but the combat is at least more interesting than a typical Zelda game, where the combat really is just, do you understand how to kill this enemy? It's really just a puzzle, and if you understand how to kill the enemy, it's just, well, do the motion.
Yeah, I think this game totally hangs with some really, like, some of the better Zelda games. Like, Zelda games, I think each game kind of has its gimmick, and to some extent they live and die based on how much you like that gimmick, whether it's Wolf Link and Twilight Princess, whether it's going into walls and Link Between Worlds, or the time travel stuff in Ocarina. And this, this one's is the relationship with nature and the paintbrush. I think those are totally successful. They are a good part of the puzzles. They're a good part of the combat. I mean, it's divisive to some extent, but I mean, gimmicks usually are. My blind spot with Zelda is, like, I haven't finished Twilight Princess or Wind Waker. I did finish Skyward Sword. I think I liked Skyward Sword more than most people, but like,
Same.
I would recommend this game over Skyward Sword pretty easily, right? Especially like right now, where you can get this game on the Switch for $20. Skyward Sword's about to come out for $60. I think that remaster looks pretty solid, but like, I think I would have an easier time recommending this game than Skyward Sword. I think this game probably, to my knowledge, hangs with like Twilight Princess and maybe Wind Waker. But it's a really swell game. Like, it's so easy to just say, oh, it's another Zelda game, but that's almost a bit reductive. Like, this game definitely does have its own personality, its own sense of humor, and it has its own unique mechanics that I think, are the reason why it's so revered, outside of just, oh, it's kind of a game in the Zelda sort of mold.
Tom?
Yeah, I don't really relate to this as a Zelda game. I haven't played many Zelda games. I just think of it as it's Okami. It's its own thing.
Yeah, for me, I played almost every single Zelda game at this point. Some I played 10 plus times, I think. So it's better than my least favorite Zelda games, but it's not even close to my favorites. So it's very middling for me. As much shit as I've talked about it, I could say worse shit about Majora's Mask because I actively hate that game.
Here comes the hate mail from Travis.
Yeah, I know. I'm like the only person in the world that doesn't like that game, but
I love that game.
I don't like it. And I think Okami is better than Majora's Mask. It's better than Spirit Tracks.
Majora's Mask is like so purposefully stressful, and Okami, kind of what we mentioned last episode, like, it feels like the stakes are never too high. There's no end of the world situation. It's like, okay, this area has an issue, let's get this, and then we'll find the next thing, and you kind of do things on your own time. It's like the polar opposite mood.
Yeah, I'll say Majora's Mask is definitely not my favorite, but like, I think every 3D Zelda's like a 9 or above at least, so it's not like any of them are bad games. And I'd put Okami up in that same field probably as of right now.
Yeah, so it's middle of the road for me as far as Zelda games. So,
All right, there we go.
I have,
Thanks
if
for the
we don't have
question,
any
Rob.
more questions, do we have any more questions?
No.
nope.
I have another installment of the hit game Ami in it or Ami not.
All right.
Heck yeah.
The fans asked for it, and he delivered.
They couldn't get enough. Okay. So I'm gonna say a franchise, and you tell me Ami in it if Amaterasu is in it, Ami not if not. Ami in it or Ami not, South Park.
Oh,
Ami in it.
Ami not.
Ami and
Ami in it.
Ami in it. There is a poster here. Let me put it in the. I'll put it in the
Yeah,
Discord.
I definitely want to see that.
That's fantastic.
Oh, I almost put it in the draft punks. Okay, Ami in it or Ami not? Ready Player One, the movie.
Ami not.
Ami not.
Ami not.
I'm gonna say Ami in it just to play devil's advocate.
Ami not.
Tyler, man.
Yeah, I've watched that. Well, the movie at least I've seen with the kids probably 10 plus times, and I've never seen Ami in it.
You should have said that before I said Ami in it.
Okay, Ami in it or Ami not? Ashura's Wrath, the Xbox 360 arcade game.
Ami in
Ami
it.
in it.
Ami in it.
Interesting.
Also a fantastic game.
Ami in it or Ami not? Okami Den, the Okami prequel on the Nintendo DS.
Ooh,
Ami
Ami
not.
not.
Yeah.
Ami in it, I think. I guess I should know.
Wait. Hold on.
I know there's a wolf that looks a lot like Ami on the case art. I don't know if it
Yes.
is Ami necessarily, though.
Hold on, let me make sure it is. I
We need
assumed
an
it
umpire to
was.
come out here and check this guy.
I have that game, and I plan to play it
Oh
after this.
no! Wait! It stars Chibitarasu, a small celestial wolf born from Amaterasu. So Ami not.
That's right.
I'll make it still be in it, though. That's a mother's child right there.
Oh,
No.
you're right. Okay,
So we don't know. Unknown.
Ami undecided.
Yeah. I plan to play that after Okami. I was
too.
going to play it like during Okami, but people say it spoils the end, so don't do that.
Oh, okay. I think I figured it out, and it might spoil some stuff. So, Ami to be determined.
Tune in next time to find out.
All right.
Right. Is that the last one?
Yes, that's it.
All right. Any closing comments from anybody?
I'm looking forward to the last chunk of this game. Even with a few nitpicks, stuff that's not perfect, this game is still lighting my fires in a good way.
I'm ready for it to be over. That's for sure.
Jesus.
On
Yeah.
to the next one.
I'm having a very good time with the game, and I'm surprised. I'm only at like 19 hours right now. A lot of people say that this game drags on super long. So unless this last chunk is ridiculously long, it's not longer than Twilight Princess or Skyward Sword. So I think it's fine.
Getting a look at the guide, this second chunk seemed longer than the remaining chunk of the game, just by going by like table of contents, but that doesn't necessarily mean much.
All right. Well, let's get all these plugs in. The next episode will be everything up through the end of the game. So if you have played Okami, even if you haven't been playing along with us, make sure you write into spelunkerspodcast@gmail.com. Let us know if you have any questions about the game, or you can join the Discord and put some comments in the Okami comments section. Let us read them off. We'd love to read more comments on the show. It always fuels discussion and it's fun. Anything to plug? Chris Bartlett.
Oh God! Don't tell them my last name. No, I'm just kidding. I stream Resident Evil on our channel, twitch.tv/Spelunkers, every single Wednesday night. I am playing Resident Evil 4 right now, and it is a very good time. Another great Capcom series.
Ryan.
At the same Twitch channel, Tuesdays I stream Pokemon. Wednesdays before Resident Evil, I started Memory Card Lane, where I play older games and find out if they hold up or not. Started Blue Dragon. We'll probably do a good handful of episodes of that, and then probably split off and come back to it at some point, because that's going to be a long ass game to play just every week. So we'll come back to it on occasion. And Sunday evenings, I'm streaming Dead Space 2 and having a good time.
It's a good game, I hear.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Tom.
Every Saturday, typically, Tyler and I do our Wasted series. Currently, we're making our way through It Takes Two. Probably got one episode left in it before we beat it. We are an area and a half away, so I'm pretty sure we'll beat it the next time we play it, whenever that is. Then we'll be doing the Ascent after that. Thursdays, I've been trying to stream something. I did Scarlet Nexus last week. I'll probably stream that again. I'm playing as Yuito for that stream, and Kasane on my own time.
That's pretty much how I'm consuming that game, is watching you. Like when you're playing it, I try to jump on and catch some of it.
It
Looks
is
like a
good
great game.
It is very fun.
Chris Babbino. What do you got going on?
Two quick things. One, Hello Hyrule. So if you're playing the Skyward Sword remaster, in about a week, it's coming out for the Switch. I hope you'll maybe give my podcast Hello Hyrule a shot. It's sort of a super duper deep dive podcast on the whole Legend of Zelda franchise. We're starting at the beginning of the timeline with Skyward Sword. We have a lot of fun. Every episode is a different location. It's in the order of the story, so we'll play it. We're basically going along with you as you play it. And they're all 1 hour podcasts, so not really too much of a time commitment on any given episode. So please check it out. And also Draft Punks, going to be on Draft Punks this week, and we are talking about Bloodborne bosses. It's going to be a really fun episode.
Look at the excitement in Tyler's eyes. They lit up like Christmas.
Isla Hink from Easy Allies is going to be on the episode also.
That's
so
amazing.
it's gonna be so much fun. I'm super excited, and everyone should check it out. All of their episodes are fun. Like if you're into any of the topics that they've covered, just download that episode and check it out.
You're drafting tomorrow as of this recording?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so what's the number one pick? Because they won't hear this.
They won't hear
This won't be out before
Yeah.
then.
So my top 5, I am hoping. I really want to get Maria of the Astral Clock Tower.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a very good one.
I'm not going to get first because of you actually, Chris. You nailed it last week. But I'm hoping that they take like Gurman or I don't know, anyone.
Orphan, of course.
Orphan.
High for me.
Yeah. Please take. I don't even like Orphan that much compared to other people. Like, please take Orphan. I would love to get get Maria. There are a few others, but yeah.
I think Bloodstarved Beast is going to be an undersung pick, honestly.
Bloodstarved Beast is like right in the middle of my list. There's just so many beasts, and then like I feel like Ludwig and Lawrence in the DLC are really good versions of that stuff. Bloodstarved's probably the best one in the main game, but yeah, I don't want to give all of it away in here. Like, listen to the episode.
Yeah, listen to Draft Punks.
I have an Excel sheet with every boss listed, and then like pros and cons, and like lore tidbits for everything. Like I went pretty deep over this.
How many bosses are there total?
So there's 23 before you get into Chalice Dungeons. I personally didn't really care for Chalice Dungeons, so I didn't put any of those on my list. But I think there's 22 or 23 in the main game plus DLC.
Oh boy.
Cool.
That'll be fun for people who like Bloodborne.
Apparently, it's everybody except for us.
Yeah. We're in the minority on that one.
That's fair. It's a divisive series, all of those games.
You know, it's so weird. You know, this is a random tangent. We're at the end of the episode, but I just want to get into it. I like every other Souls-like game besides that one.
Is it
You
the
say you don't like the
aggressiveness?
setting.
I don't know what. I guess it's the setting.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's fair.
But
I don't know.
every other game that's like that, I enjoy. It's just that one. I don't know why.
Sekiro you were into?
I haven't played it yet.
Okay.
That's on my
I
list.
wonder, because if you don't like Sekiro, it could be the aggressive nature of those two games. Like, those games are faster and in your face more than like Dark Souls, which is more like you can defend a bit more.
I'm playing through Neo right now. And,
Oh, okay.
I'm having a great time with that. I picked that up randomly for no reason, and
Nice.
that game's great.
Very
Last thing to plug, Tom and I have a new podcast that comes out after our Wasted series called Last Call, which is basically just us talking for 30 minutes drunk about random stuff. It could be games, movies, TV. It don't matter. We're just talking.
You need to check that out just for the intro at the very least, because that intro is top
intro's good.
notch.
Yeah, we got a good intro. I think the whole episode's good. And it's short.
Yeah.
It's only like 30 minutes. Very quick. Just in
Nice
and out.
commute listen if you get a long commute. Throw
Lots
that
of
on.
burps. We whenever we spoil stuff, we just put big old burps in.
Yeah, speaking of, I didn't hear your reaction. Did you like that?
Yeah, that was great. At first, I was like, "Oh shit, did I burp there?" No, that's the because I burped later on in the episode, and I was like, "That sounds like my burp." So it's a good time. And then last thing, we haven't officially come to a consensus on this, but I'm announcing it here and now. Our next game exploration is Chris Tales. Boom.
Good pick.
Nobody will confirm or deny whether we're playing this, so I'm confirming it right here, right now. We're playing
Good
Chris Tales
pick.
next.
I think there's going to be a lot of buzz around that game.
After Okami, we will be starting that game, and hopefully we'll have a better idea of how long it is and where we need to stop at. So stay tuned for that. Until next time. Bye.
Bye.